Yo, 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 yo.
What up, what up?
Dude, what that song that was playing is from something. Like,
It's still, yeah, I
do.
do recognize that song. This is Relax Beats on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/Relax Beats for the song that's playing right now. I don't know. Can you, actually, I have it open. Is there a command in that stream to see, like, what the song is? Does anybody know?
I don't know.
Welcome back to our podcast. This is 3 weeks later. We were just talking about this. We missed 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I don't know that we missed much because nothing
It's like
really
slow,
crazy
so
happened.
We were waiting for that PlayStation 5.
Yeah, where's that PlayStation 5 news? I feel like they're just being like, okay, Xbox, what are you putting in your machine? We're gonna just beef ours up with. We're gonna make it actually better.
Let
than
me
yours.
copy your homework.
Yeah.
Let me copy your homework.
Just
Xbox.
change it a little so it's not the same.
So, you guys got the stream open? Tell me what it sounds like. Anybody? Anybody at all?
It sounded good when I was listening to music.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're back at it again. For anybody who may be joining us live. Oh shit! Pop that baby maker. Subscribed. Who's that?
Dude, I don't know.
Hi, I'm new here. I'm Mike. Hold on. Got some trolls in the chat, I think.
Dude.
Where's
Where's the mods? Come on.
mods? Hurry up.
It's out of control, right?
All right, you know what? I'm leaving this music playing for a little bit though. So this is our weekly gaming podcast where we talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about, and I was listening back to old episodes. You could just tell. Oh shit, the song just cut out just like that. That's perfect. I'll stop it right there. I don't even want to hear another song after that. That shit really was too dope. I see Mike start rocking to that
Dude.
shit.
How could you not?
Oh yeah, so what I was gonna say is that you could listen to old episodes of this podcast and see like which podcasts we listen to. It doesn't really matter because art imitates art, well, art imitates life, whatever. But what we don't imitate is Pat Contry's stupid ass podcast. So you're not gonna get any of that sort of content here.
The worst.
It's just.
But what if we made a movie?
Wait, are you talking about the Game Chasers?
No.
Oh, actually, Pat Contry did just make a movie.
Did he really?
Oh yeah,
my
no,
God.
it's a documentary on Amazon Prime.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's not included with Prime though. You have to buy it. I'm a
Wow.
schmuck. I bought it.
This guy.
Why?
I didn't know because I bought it just because it looked like a good video game documentary, and I didn't know it was Pat Contry's movie. 30 seconds into me paying for this fucking thing and putting it on the TV screen, and it says a Pat Contry production, just solo by itself.
course.
I was like,
Does it
You gotta be
linger
fucking-
for a solid 45 seconds?
not 45, but long enough for me to read it and be like,
Mother-
all right. I look, I don't even want to hate on him that much. I'm just like, thanks for this. It's a good documentary. It's a
Oh,
good
well, that's
documentary.
good.
Is it the not for resale one?
That's the one. I meant to put this as a topic, but I'm just going to talk about it right now because I've noticed also, this is our podcast. We could talk about whatever we want. So we're going to talk about logistics right now, even though it's not that interesting to listen to. But I don't know that anybody's checking in live in the first, 90 seconds. So, I like to just riff on whatever in the beginning. And then, we're going to kind of start it off with what we've been playing. That's the format, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm just talking to you guys right now. I'm not talking to the audience. I'm not talking to that one guy who's driving to work right now.
That one guy at 3 a.m. going, man, I wish I had friends.
It's 3 a.m. already? Oh, no. No, it's
No,
10:20.
when someone listens back to the podcast.
It's 10:22 on March 7th, 2020, and we're here back with our podcast.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
So what I was saying though, not for resale. This documentary is it's pretty much about what's going to happen to the whole collecting community once the switch to all digital, which they're calling inevitable, happens. That it's actually a topic that we have to discuss later on about when you buy digital games, like how long is that ownership?
Yeah.
But how long is that license to play that game? I hear myself a little bit. Does somebody have me coming out of their speakers?
No.
Nope.
I don't have speakers.
Oh
It's just the voices in your head.
He's got his stream unmuted.
no, I don't have my stream open.
I mean,
I do know.
maybe it was just your voice coming through my headphones and then hitting the mic.
Oh, some bleed, some audio bleed.
I was kind of close there.
So my question then becomes: have either of you seen Not for Resale?
No, I
I've
haven't.
not.
I recommend it.
Yeah.
You do have to either buy it or rent it. I bought it because the cost to buy it versus the cost of renting it is like, so they got me. Pat Contry got me again. I bought his book, and now I bought his movie.
Stupid Pat Country.
I thought you said Bat Country. But I like how Bat Country kind of rhymes with Pat Contry.
Stupid Bat Country.
I mean, it's got
Pat
enough
Country.
other people in it that I like.
There's a
but,
lot of
like,
there's like just owners of video game stores
yeah.
in it. That chick Kelsey Lewin, she's on Metal Jesus Rocks channel all the time.
Yeah.
She owns that gaming store,
Pink
Pink Gorilla, and yes, she's featured in this. There's this one dude who's got this video game store where it's like, I think it's like 6,000. No, yeah, maybe 6,000 square feet. His store is big store. Then he's got this basement where it's like 3 times that filled. He said something like 25,000 games he's got. It's like, that's a video game collection. And it's just a constant rotation of like cool shit comes in and people come in and buy cool shit, and then he just like moves the inventory around, and it's it's a more enjoyable experience for his returning customers to see different things on the shelves rather than come into the game store and see the same old shit. So this guy's got rotating inventory. He's got like 47 PlayStations on a shelf down in the basement. It's like, yep, checked, has the wires ready to go. Up, needs to be cleaned, needs to be tested. Like, I'm just like, this is fucking crazy. And that's what the whole documentary is just like about retro game stores. When you buy a game, what do you buy? A cartridge that has a ROM loaded onto it. You don't own that game. You don't own any piece of that game. No music, no sprites, no assets, nothing. You just own a piece of plastic and a chip. The content on the chip doesn't belong to you, and it never will.
Right.
So, digital makes sense. You don't own anything, but it's like when let's just say somebody comes along sometime in the future and actually does overtake Amazon. Like all those digital movies that I bought on Amazon, I just don't have those anymore.
Potentially.
Potentially, right? Exactly. That's
Yeah.
why limited run games and companies like them are doing
still
God's
doing
work.
business.
They're doing.
God's work.
I don't know
might be
about
pushing
God's
it,
work.
Hey,
but,
man.
They're doing something.
Well, when you preserve digital-only games onto physical media, you're doing
Mm-hmm.
something special. So maybe not God's work, but they're doing their mission
They're doing
is
a
just.
justice to the community.
That's
yes.
right.
I
That's
will
right.
give you
Are we
that.
gonna tailspin into Mike's weekly
The way-
segment?
The
of
way that they
limited run
handle
games.
their business, though, makes me wonder.
Why? Have you
Yes.
got something to say about that? Their business?
Unlimited run itself. I mean, if we need to go into it,
I'm just wondering if you got your Jay and Silent Bob game yet.
let me let you guess. Get a 50-50 shot here. Yes? No.
I'm gonna guess no.
I'm
I'm gonna play
say-
devil's advocate and say yes.
Oh, Pop! Congratulations! You are the dumbest guy in the room.
You
All right.
you win.
I want to be the
You
dumbest.
are the weakest link. Goodbye.
so I can learn.
Yeah. No. So here's the thing, right? So I recently saw. So every month since the new year, I've been sending what I call a monthly update, where I will tag everyone to do with Jay and Silent Bob Mall Brawl.
Yes.
And
which is a
Hit him
game,
up on Twitter.
which is if I'm not mistaken, it's a homebrew game.
Yeah, this is like so the idea was this small game company went to Kevin Smith and said, we want to make a game about Jay and Silent Bob. And the original idea is to make what's called Jay and Silent Bob Chronic Blunt Punch, which is supposed to be like a beat 'em up. The original idea, I think, was like a Mortal Kombat style, like fighter kind of thing, but you use insults instead of like violence. So you use like their iconic Snitchy Boochie and whatnot, catchphrases and everything,
Yeah.
which I'm sure wouldn't get annoying at all.
No.
Either way, I think they reworked it so it's more of a like beat 'em up now.
Okay.
And it's all like hand drawn animation stuff. Looks like the Clerks cartoon almost. So when they came up with this idea, they said, all right, this is great, but it's definitely going to take some time. And we also have this other team that wants to get involved. They like the idea. So they added on and did this side project, Jay and Silent Bob Mall Brawl. So now it's just like an 8-bit like add-on, basically like a little, I think they're saying it's like a prequel to Blunt Punch.
Okay.
Just as like an 8-bit game that goes along with it. It's same thing. It's like a little beat 'em up, couple levels. Jay and Silent Bob, all the fun is had. It's great. So they did this, and lo and behold, the game company themselves didn't even get this game done when they said they were going to. But because there's no communication from Limited Run, that was never told to anybody. So I actually saw on Twitter after I gave my February update, they said, we'll have something to announce really soon. And sure enough, like a week and a half later, they said, we're done with it. It's done. Ready to go. Shipped off to all the people that need to make the things with it. It's getting ready to be released on all the platforms.
This is the game company, the devs.
Yes, the devs.
On Twitter.
Yep. So they said, boom, here it is. It's great. It's going out. Now we're just waiting on our deals and everything that we have with all these other companies before we drop it all over the internet everywhere it's supposed to be. Because I also have this game digitally on Steam because I pre-ordered Blunt Punch as well. So I have it digitally, and I have
you
it
can
on
play
an
it right
NES
now.
cart. No, I
Oh.
don't. Because of the deal they made with Limited Run, they have to hold the digital copy until Limited Run can get their stuff ready. Because they did this deal with them.
That's
Sounds like a nightmare.
Yes. So either
but
way,
that-
I have
but
to wait
that's
for Limited
crazy
Run.
because that's what we were just saying. Their whole mission is to put the games, into like I don't know. They're being jerks about it. That's what's
Yeah.
happening.
So either way, they said that they were guessing that Limited Run was going to take 2 to 3 months to do carts and everything to get this thing put together to get ready to ship it out.
Okay.
And this was in the middle of February. So I'm still sitting here waiting and assuming that, when it says Q1, that they'll have it ready by the end of March because it's the end of Q1.
I have bad news for you, bud.
Yeah. So what was it, 2 days ago or 3 days ago?
Well, technically,
They went up on Twitter and Limited Run posted
oh,
they were delaying a bunch of Q1 deliveries back to Q2 deliveries, and that you should check the updated item shipping estimate page to see if your items have been delayed. So I'm pretty sure that everything that was on the page got delayed. And I'm also pretty sure that now that they're like 26 days away from the end of the quarter, they're like, oh shit, we're not going to make every delivery that we have on our website. Coronavirus. We're delayed. Q2. Not our fault. None of this is our fault.
they said coronavirus.
I don't know. I don't remember but they said definite delays in manufacturing.
Can we
Yeah.
just get that out of the way right now? By the way, since that's what any form of media, and technically that's what this is talking about, just coronavirus, COVID-19, coronavirus. You know what they say? If you get coronavirus, you should probably go get Lyme disease, because nothing goes better with corona than a Lyme.
That's beautiful.
My friend who has Lyme
Yeah.
disease told me that joke.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
he's yeah. I don't know. Is that in bad taste? I don't know. I feel like more people die from so many other things. But here's the crazy part. We go to CVS today, and just as a goof, I'm like, I'm gonna go see if there's any hand sanitizer. There's really not.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was thinking to myself earlier when I'm at CVS, like, how could I incorporate this story into the podcast? And I can. Are you ready? This is like the Kevin Bacon game, except
Okay.
I'm
Here we
at
go.
CVS.
7 degrees of
I
separation.
think about the I think about the coronavirus thing and how I heard that people were buying up all the hand sanitizer. So I go to the
Okay.
hand sanitizer and it's all cleared out. Okay.
Right.
So then I'm like, these motherfuckers, let me go, and I check the travel section where you get the little travel versions
little
of
ones,
everything.
right.
Those are all gone. Just those. There's travel, everything else, but there's no
Right.
hand sanitizer, no hand sanitizer wipes.
Mm-hmm.
Then I go to the baby section, and any kind of hand sanitizer that they have over there was all completely cleaned out. Like, you gotta be kidding me. You really, this is insane. You know who else does that? This is not 7 degrees of separation. This is 2. People, you don't know any other group of people that goes to a store, buys all the inventory of something, and then takes it home and relists it on eBay for a premium. Who does that?
I mean, if you're gonna tell me that
Okay.
I'm gonna go to eBay right now, find a bunch of hand sanitizer.
Dude.
That's the first fucking thing that I did. That's why we're talking about this right now, because people are selling 2 bottles of hand sanitizer for $45. Make sure you go to the sold listings.
Holy
Please.
shit.
Turn on sold listings. Don't go for the asking price.
Dude, that's wild. What is
Insane.
this? Crazy.
People are scalping hand sanitizer right now.
That's disgusting.
Listen, dude. End times. Get wild.
I'm about to just my next meme is going to be 0.01% of viruses are coronavirus.
So
That's
can I
what
say,
the 99.99%. Yeah, they don't get everything. That's the 1.01.
That's the
Um,
one.
one thing that I didn't know, like this is my take on the coronavirus,
Yeah.
is this new job that I started on the 17th.
How's that going?
No, it's good. Good. Definitely like longer of a drive than I want it to be.
Hey man, that's what I
But
just did
other
when I
than that-
started this job.
Yeah.
Just move
Other
closer.
than that, it's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
I eventually plan on it. But one thing I didn't know is that the main manufacturing plant for the defense and aerospace facility, which is where I work,
Oh,
is in Wuhan, China, dude.
it's
So
what?
it's like it's in Wuhan where
What's
the
Wuhan?
virus
China.
started.
You mean
It's
Wuhan?
this- Wuhan, whatever the fuck.
You
it's
said
called.
Wuhan?
Yeah, dude, that's what I thought it was.
All right.
It's
I
there.
think it's Wuhan, right?
So,
No idea.
I was
so
thinking
all
of
these
Wutai
like
from
things
Final
that I've
Fantasy
been
VII.
like touching, they had me sign a form yesterday, basically saying that like I
Look at
may
it.
have already come in contact with pieces of equipment that have shipped from there,
Yeah.
and that like if I feel sick, I need to notify
Yeah,
somebody.
that's
It's like,
that's good. Like
I'm
that's
gonna-
more
I'm gonna-
information than you would get
Yeah,
from most
like-
people. I went to a nightclub, like a jazz club to see
okay.
Victor Wooten play in New York City. Bass player, you know Victor Wooten?
Yeah.
He's gnarly. I got a little too drunk, so I was in a jazz club in New York City, and then later that night, after getting kicked out of the karaoke bar on the street of New York City, get a little sicky, and coming into contact with the ground there with no like letter from anybody being like, there might have been some. No, there was a lot of stuff there. I feel like that was a vaccine for coronavirus. You know what I mean? That just boosted my immune system to Insane
Get that
levels.
intimate with New York streets.
Yeah. And then today we go out and we went out to a restaurant. I mean, like, I don't know. Everything. You come in contact with the world. Why are you not worried every day? There's a fucking crazy shit out there.
Yep.
But yeah, the way that it relates to what we're talking about is the fact that people are scalping hand sanitizer now. So if you want some hand sanitizer or you got $40 you want to spare,
Dude.
I'm about to sell my
anything for a quick buck.
half-used bottle that I have.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, but is that
15 bucks,
right,
it's
though?
yours.
To try and profit off of a alleged pandemic. I saw, Dr. Drew.
Oh.
He used to do Loveline, and he was on a bunch of other shows, Celebrity Rehab and all that. That
Yeah.
dude's a real medical doctor. He's like a physician,
Right.
like legit. And he was on the news talking about, like, no, the media is reporting this as a crisis all the time. He's like, if there's an actual crisis, I won't know because the media is telling us that there's an emergency all the time.
Yeah.
And then he starts spit rattling off statistics, and it's like, this dude's an actual doctor. Can we listen to what he's saying? Can we listen to what these doctors are saying, not listen to the talking heads on the news? Get our information and then start fucking hawking hand sanitizer out of the trunk of your car, rolling up with a trench coat like, yo, what you need?
What do
I
you
got
need?
Purell.
I got Purell. I got that Olay. Or I don't know who makes hand sanitizer.
To bring this back to video games, I can't remember if we talked about it the last time we were on here, but like the fucking the Switch workout game.
Ring Fit
the Ring
Adventure.
Fit.
Ring Fit Adventure is being scalped right now for like $200.
Wait, why?
Because people that are it's
Oh,
mainly being sold to people in China that are quarantined, that are afraid, like they can't leave, so they're afraid of like getting out of shape, so they're ordering. They're
Fit
paying
Adventures.
premiums for Ring Fit Adventures so they can work out. Like this is a
That's
real
a-
thing. Like go
that's a plastic
look up-
ring.
Yeah, go look up Ring Fit Adventure. You can't find it for under like people.
That's
are
so
selling it for,
funny.
like,
I was just
180
looking it up
plus, like, it's
because I was
crazy.
watching the Nintendo Direct that you sent me for this podcast topics. If we
Yeah,
after 23 minutes ever get into them, but I was like, you know what? This looks fun. Like it looks like one of those quirky Nintendo things that it's like, yeah, it's gimmicky, but it looks like it's fun to do the thing. Just
I
like,
heard it's like pretty
no,
good.
you watch the footage.
Like-
It looks like a fun fucking game, like an adventure game. You're like shooting bow and arrow and fighting monsters and traversing across chasms and drawbridges and all. It looks
Right now, there's only one listing on Amazon for Ring Fit Adventure, and it's $200.
just
And then,
the
like,
game in the ring.
Just the game in the ring.
And it was supposed to
all
be
of
what
the-
normally 80.
Yeah, there's bundle like
Damn.
apparently there's like it looks like European versions. There's bundles where it comes with the Switch console and the Ring Fit Adventure, and it's like $600. Like it's crazy.
Jesus.
Like
If only you had the foresight to buy 100 of those.
Bunch of Ring
Yeah.
Fit Adventure.
That's like the stock market. Like, you know what? I just got a feeling. I think I'm
Just
gonna
got a
buy. Yeah.
feeling.
Well, that's why I hung on to my Wii U for that exact reason. I mean, I like it, and I don't know if I'll ever play it again. I could see myself hooking all that shit up and like playing it again.
Right.
But I feel like one day that's gonna be hard to find.
dude, just the leg strap is selling for more than what the entire thing costs, dude. It's crazy. It doesn't even come with the game. Just the leg strap.
I have a leg strap for UFC trainer on the Wii.
17 sold. That's
sure it still works.
crazy.
I don't.
Yeah, this
I've
is crazy.
reject all of that.
Yeah.
That's
is
worse
unreal.
than the hand sanitizer.
But this just makes you think like all of this sprung off because we labeled an illness. Like if the government didn't put a name to this and people were just like getting sick and dying, like would
Yeah.
it be a pandemic? Like it is.
The pharmaceutical fucking shit is a pandemic. The people, heart disease is the number one killer. Look, I'm not going into a fucking vegan rampage right now, but people eat fucking raw red fucking meat every day of their lives and die from heart disease more than anything on this earth, right? And nobody's calling that a pandemic, but it kills more people than anything. Alcohol kills so many fucking people. Well, that's not a pandemic. You can go to the store and buy. You can't. Can you go to the store and buy coronavirus if you want to? No.
I mean, you could buy Coronas.
I understand like what pandemic means and what a crisis would be if something spread like that, but that's fear mongering is what it is. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But the symptoms are the symptoms of a cold, and the deaths are people who are susceptible, like elderly or people who are already predisposed with existing conditions. So
people that would die from the flu.
Look, there's so many. Listen to fucking Rage Against the Machine, Run the Jewels, Immortal Technique. Like, listen to all these prolific motherfuckers, and they'll tell you way before this shit ever happened that this is what happens. Like, I don't want this to turn into like a tinfoil hat type of podcast, but it's not. It's not conspiracy if it's fucking true, man. I mean, it's legit. They feed you bullshit on the TV. The powers that be have nothing to gain if we all unite with each other and, you know, rise against. You know what I mean? Like, divide and conquer. That's the whole plan. They want to just keep us scared and freaking out. And, you know, something's happening over here. So it's like, look over here at this coronavirus thing. Like, be prepared. Go buy 14 cases of water and like 100 rolls of toilet paper for some reason. Like, I don't know why that was ever an issue.
80 gallons of hand sanitizer.
Honestly, like that type of stuff isn't even like out of the normal here because of like all the hurricanes and stuff. Like it's kind of like normal here. Where it's a hurricane comes and it's like you see somebody at Walmart with like 5 like stacks of water and it's like, dude, like the power's gonna be out for a couple days. Like, relax.
People.
Right. But at least that's a thing. This is like, you know, this is the flu, and they're labeling it something else and creating fear out of it.
Yeah,
like
it's
a storm
not even as
knocking
bad
out
as the
power.
flu.
Like, I get that. That's a thing, and it knocks out your power.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like people. So I guess maybe I misspoke there. Like the idea that a hurricane may hit where you are.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what I was gonna say about that.
And go crazy, and it's like. In the end, it didn't even hit where we were at, right? Like it's just dumb shit. Like gas, you can't get it. Water, you can't get it, and it's just like okay, like
yeah. But what
it forces you to participate in it though, because it's like, dude, I only have 5 bottles of water here. I need to get a case, but like if I don't go buy 2 cases now, I'm not gonna be able to get it for 2 weeks because of hurricane season. Like
all I have to say is that people look at those like doomsday preppers and call those people crazy. Like some of them probably take it to a bit of an extreme, but what was that?
What was that?
That was
eBay.
Oh,
I know that noise.
Watch item end soon.
What is it?
Boy, what is that?
What is it?
That's a copy of Death Stranding with the controller.
Oh.
Starting bid was $89.99, and there's one bid. I probably can't do it this week anyway, but that's a solid deal because you're getting the game and but there's no way to. That's just let's see what do you guess that's up to now?
115 at least.
It's only at 91, and there's 14 minutes left. So the controller itself is selling for over $100, but the game comes with it. Oh yeah,
keep an eye on it because in this last 15 minutes,
it's gonna go up.
What's your final guesses?
I would say like probably like 140.
What is Death Stranding like the game?
I'm gonna
$40 you could probably get it for now, or 50.
I'm gonna say 125.
Oh, okay.
Dude, PlayStation 4 controllers, like that one you can't get. Like I don't know. I feel like that goes up quite a bit.
You saw this one?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh,
the Black Ops.
Yo,
nice.
I don't care that this is a Call of Duty controller. That's a dope color scheme.
I mean,
that orange is fucking popping.
Yeah,
it is.
The orange.
Yo, I got I really want that Death Stranding one because I have the red, the blue, the clear crystal, and that would be the yellow crystal. That's
I was gonna say like the fucking like clear colored controllers, like it's such a like how hasn't Nintendo put out a fucking atomic purple Joy-Con yet?
Dude,
Like I don't get
because
it.
they don't like
they just
money,
don't like
apparently.
money. You know, like they're like,
That
whoa,
must be it.
refits. Oh. Like, dude, I'd buy all of them. Like,
When I saw the Joy-Cons and how they were coming in different colors, originally I was like, oh no, this is
you,
gonna be
you want
a
me
problem.
to go to my? I bought the first like 5 colors that came out.
I know.
Like it was.
I
like,
remember
was
you
like,
telling me that. I was like, oh boy.
I was
Oh
like,
boy.
dude, I was like, I have to get them. They're sick. And then all of a sudden, they just. It was like, the first year they came out. They had the gray, the red and blue, and then they came out with the Splatoon ones, the pink and the fucking pink and green.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then
shit.
they had the all blue ones and the all yellow, like the neon yellow ones.
Yep.
Those were like in the first like 7 or 8 months that the Switch came out, and then they didn't have any other colors come out for like a year and a half. It was like the most disappointing.
See,
fucking...
It's crazy because I ended up with a lot of Switch controllers, but my console came with the gray ones.
Mhm.
Then I bought another set of gray ones. Then I
Yeah.
bought. So the second set of gray ones that I got came in a box that was for the red and blue ones, but they didn't have the red. They just said it was the red and blue box,
Yeah.
which I wanted those, but with gray controllers inside that I bought from like secondhand from a friend of mine. So that
Yeah.
gave me a total of 4 gray ones. Then I bought myself a pair of the red and blue ones somewhere. I don't know where. Then I saw another pair of the gray ones at a Goodwill for $20, but they were like brand new in the box. So I have 3
That's
pairs of gray ones
Damn.
and 1 pair of red and blue. I think that's what I have.
I'm hoping I kept the box for these ones because they're before the fucking.
But also 2 Pro
versions came
controllers.
out. So they're like the Japanese import. Fucking.
I'm telling you,
Oh,
the
shit.
ultimate though is to have 2 Pro controllers for the Switch. Then you're
Oh,
set.
I do.
Me too.
I have the
Mike's
I have
getting it. You're
the
getting a Switch
regular-
real soon, aren't you?
regular
Yeah.
Pro controller. I have the Splatoon one, and I have.
Oh,
the,
see, now you're getting wild with it.
Yeah, I went wild. The first like 2017 when the Switch came out, I was just out of my mind. It was like any accessory that came out. I bought the what is it? I can't even think of it. Xenoblade. I have the Xenoblade
Oh,
Oh.
really?
Pro controller.
Wait, how many Pro controllers do you have?
I have 3.
This fucking guy.
I bought.
How many sealed N64 games do you have?
like 12.
This motherfucker. Wait, but they're in bad shape or they're in good shape?
They're in bad shape. Like, I think that you would probably have, like, if I wanted to legitimately sell, I feel like almost at this point, I don't even want to sell them because it's just a cool story, and I don't think I could get, like, they definitely
Like,
were
if you
sitting in an attic in Florida with the humidity, and the
Oh.
humidity just
Do you think if
destroyed
you
the fucking cardboard.
opened them, the games would be pristine?
I think the games would be perfect. I think if I opened it, like, the cardboard casing or whatever
Would
box
disintegrate?
falls apart. Yeah, like it's like definitely I feel like being held together by the like
Plastic.
tight
being-
plastic
Yeah,
covering.
okay. But
Because
think
you can tell,
about
like,
that.
if you like touch it, like if I pull one out and you like poke it, like you can see the cardboard just kind of like mush in.
But think about
where
this,
it's like-
man. Okay, so they're sealed, and that's interesting. But you break the seal, you open it up, you've got that cardboard insert with the cartridge fresh and the manual. All you got to do is get yourself an empty box, and you got like a pristine copy of that.
I
shit.
don't even. Yeah, it would be interesting to maybe I should just find the least valuable one and open it up and see how they are inside. Because like I wouldn't be surprised if the
least
manual was
valuable
fucked
one.
up
It's
too.
like the best games.
Yeah, I know it's ridiculous.
Fucking
But-
guy. I wish you had filmed you getting that, or I wish I had filmed
was
you
so-
getting that
it-
with a
it was-
microphone on you and like a microphone on
one
the
of
dude
those-
who was all mad about it too.
It was one of those things where it's like, even if I went that day to, even if I was like, I'm gonna film myself getting games, I wouldn't have even got that on camera because it was so unexpected. It was like this old lady, and she had like,
I love this
fucking,
story.
like, she had like China and like
Like Joni Laurer, the wrestler.
yeah, yeah. No. She had like boxes of like Tupperware, and like it was just like I just happened to like in the glimpse of like the little corner of the box, I was like,
I
that's Tupperware, but I was
spy
like,
with my little fucking
that's
brown
a
eye.
That's a Nintendo Power.
Oh
like-
shit!
That's a Nintendo Power underneath there. Like I know that like whatever the fuck you call it, the like edge of the book. I was like, that's a Nintendo Power, and so I walked over into her thing, and then I just like lifted it up, and it's like, that's like 10 sealed games. Like I didn't even look. Like I panicked. I was like, I'll pick up this whole box. I was like, Then some guy walked in. I was like, oh no. I was like, I
Dude.
have to buy this right now.
There's 7 minutes on this, and it's still 91.
Dude,
I will place a bid if it's less than $100. Huh? Live?
You can try, but in that last 3 minutes, it's gonna go bullshit.
I think it's gonna be like 143 is my actual prediction. Pop, what's your prediction for the Death Stranding? And it's a sealed.
What's it at now?
It's a sealed Death Stranding, and it's the controller that comes with the limited edition console, but also in the plastic. So however you want to call that sealed, it's at 91 with 3 bids and 6.5 minutes left. Yeah, those 3 bidders are about to go bullshit. You're right, Mike.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna go over. Yeah, I'd say over 140.
I say 143.50 would be my Price is Right guess.
Well, I
I'm
don't
gonna
know.
put
is
that in the chat. 143.5. Anybody else watching along want to guess? It's a sealed Death Stranding.
Yeah. Okay. So
and
people are selling just the controller by itself. They're listed for like 97,
I
99,
know, but
92, 99.
I know.
Like
but
it's
this
gonna,
one's-
it's for
okay.
sure gonna shoot up. Those 3 bidders are gonna.
Should I just put
push
in
it
my
up.
maximum bid right now,
Yeah.
which would be how much? Is there shipping? Free shipping?
No,
So
just wait. Just wait.
$99.99.
Hold off.
I think you wait. You try and snipe it.
You want that fucking piss yellow controller, dude?
I know it is ugly, right?
It's an ugly yellow. It's like the color that the NES's turn when like it's
Nice.
Mustaine coming through with the $1. He's hoping everybody else goes over. We always do Prices Right rules around here. Just so you know. Hold on now. If you unmute your stream, you can dance along.
I love how we're like an hour into this, 40 minutes in, and we haven't touched a single thing.
That's fine. This is the best kind of podcast.
I'm on TV, Mama.
Does anybody else want to make a guess? Come on, Pop. You got to put something in the chat where you think it's gonna end.
Oh, in the
With
chat.
closest without going over. Mustaine is that dickhead who bets $1 betting against everybody else. Pop says 122.
Actually, wait.
Oh, it changes.
Wait,
mind.
Bob.
No, here-
Hold on,
here we
Bob.
go.
Okay.
Okay.
There's still 4 minutes left. Can we listen to the Price is Right song for 4 more minutes?
You know we could. It's just like that excited wiggle. I'm on the Price is Right.
I love the Price is Right.
Yo, me too. Oh man.
122.76. Why 122.76?
I think he was trying to
that's
go
just
over
my
me.
calculated fucking guess.
Dun, dun, dun.
Is the media screen? There we go. Oops.
Oh, vintage clackers.
Wait, what'd you say?
I heard vintage clackers, dude. I just thought of like
Isn't that what?
old lady too. Like, just like
This
you
is the
walk into a nursing home.
this is the best podcast ever.
Oh my god. No, I'm pretty sure that the video that came up at the end, one of the thumbnails said vintage clackers. Look, right there. There it is again. I'm not crazy. It's a vintage clacker. I don't know. Just those things that like on CEOs' desks or whatever.
These are my
What is
vintage
this?
clackers.
What is this?
What the fucking Wonder
Oh, the
Bread hat,
vintage
dude.
clackers.
That were in the very, very popular in the 60s and 70s. I think they're made out of the same material as these.
This is
grapes. Remember these things back in
what
the day?
the fucking heck?
Resin grapes.
How's that thing doing?
Dude, the fucking Dragon Balls unite.
Feel the same, sound the same, and the
Yo,
object
what?
was, if you will, was
Stream is lit tonight. You feel me, dog?
clacker.
Oh,
Whoa, this
Feeling
shit's
it.
getting weird.
And I'll try to do is not smashing this.
Oh,
can.
that
clacker
bid?
together.
Something like this.
Yeah,
This
how's
is
that
one of
bid
those-
going?
It's still at 91.
How much longer?
1 minute and 28 seconds.
Dude, you putting in your bid
28.
mark?
Not yet. I'm at that screen though.
And,
Yeah.
you can get crazy on these things, and if
Oh,
you misplace them
man.
incorrectly, you're probably going to be hurt for a little while. But anyway, these were super popular.
Minute
back in
28,
the
where
day,
we
and
ended
they're
right
all
at
clackers, like I said.
11:01.
And if you look them up, it's kind of interesting.
Is that what
They're
it's
either-
doing?
Some of them are spelled with a
Yeah,
C,
minute and 4,
and some are
3,
spelled with a K. But
2.
either way,
1.
they're vintage clackers.
Oh,
and I
okay.
hope
We're
these
on the
are
countdown.
memories
58.
for you from the 60s and 70s.
What's more fucking thrilling than a last second eBay snipe?
Here we go.
I wish I had a heart rate monitor. Price is Right music back again.
Come on,
my
Price
shit
is
is-
Right.
Yeah, my
Don't let
shit
me
is.
down.
Oh, I do. My watch.
I wish he did have
Don't
a heart
get
rate monitor.
distracted.
So
No, I got
we
it.
Fucking
Gotta
see
get
it
that snipe.
spike and then die when he loses.
What the fuck, man?
It's just watch it drop. His heart rate just stops for a second.
25 seconds.
Here we go.
When
What
should
we
I do
looking
it?
like?
At like 7 seconds?
Yeah. I mean,
12.
the
11.
less time you give them.
Oh, it's going up. 8,
Yep.
7,
Oh.
6,
Yep.
5. Here we go. There it is. I hit it. Come on. I'm the highest bidder. Wait. Outbid. Motherfucker.
Got him.
I was the highest bidder for 2 seconds. Fuck.
What's the heart rate?
Oh. Hold on, I'm doing it. I gotta keep my arm still. I don't know what it is yet, but it looks erratic as hell.
Can't track it because it's just fucking off the charts.
Okay, so for the chat, make it official.
Yeah,
What
I'm
was
just doing
final?
the heart rate. Hold on.
What was the final price?
Oh, it's telling me that it's not getting a good reading. The final price. Drum
Yeah.
roll, please. Mustang 1.
$1.
Look at this shit.
121.
Holy shit.
Try to get on that eBay snipe.
116.50 it went for.
Ooh, nice. Not bad.
So Mike, oh no,
Pop
Pop was closest, but he went over.
Mustang got it.
Yeah, Mustang won. What do we have for him?
Absolutely
All
nothing.
right. Here you go.
We're gonna play
got
the
you,
Price is Right
I got
theme.
you. Whoa, what the fuck is it? Okay, I got it.
Oh, we got something for him, Johnny.
I don't know if this is even a thing. I feel like I'm doing it wrong. But let's see.
This is the.
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
Good old caster command.
There you go.
Nice.
That unique shout out right there.
I go to the
That
showcase. Fuck yeah. The showcase showdown.
The personal shout out.
Hold on. Can I just keep playing this sound effect though? It's my favorite. Anyway. Back to that was fun.
Yeah.
All right, so you want to get into some of these topics?
Yes, I do.
Oh, you guys want to like start doing a podcast? Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying?
So, like I said earlier,
Hey,
45
if you
minutes ago.
If you want to do a podcast, do you want to introduce ourselves?
Oh yeah, I'm Mark.
I'm Mike.
My name Bob.
Very nice.
We don't need to introduce ourselves.
Yeah.
It says our names right underneath us,
Oh, dude.
and I
That'll be
think,
extra helpful.
I
for
like
the
that.
audio
I have
listeners.
4 capital letters in mine.
yeah, I like that too. I think
It's-
I can move them all at the same time now too. Well, let me just try. Yes. You watching?
Whoa, that's
Yep.
amazing.
I actually did stuff today. I actually did stuff today. I have the application open so that we can do the sound effect and the countdown timer for the rapid fire topic.
Oh, no.
Yes,
All
indeed.
right. I'm ready.
But here's my question about the first topic of who saw the Sonic movie? Oh, Mike.
I did.
Oh, Mike.
Yeah,
Oh, let's go.
you know it.
Okay.
How could I miss it? I mean,
So we're gonna do rapid fire news, and some of these topics I feel like are gonna come. This is the segment of the show that we implemented I think 2 shows ago, where we have a list of not so newsworthy news articles, if you will, and we put 2 minutes on the clock and kind of go around the horn like on ESPN. What was that show where they would? Was it called Around the Horn?
I
Yeah.
feel like this fucking week like defies that like definition though, because a lot of these are newsworthy. It's just there's so much because we've been off for a few weeks that like
Well, yeah,
we
but
couldn't have everything.
some of them. Some of these definitely we can.
Some
move
of
a bit
these.
further.
well, yeah, there are some headline things here, but we're just not gonna go off and tangentially like we just did, because it's a fun thing to do. That's the only reason. So,
It's out of my system.
8 things on the list today, and this is definitely like a rip-off of Kind of Funny. I said that last time, and I'll say it again. 8 items on the Roper Report. I love that show, though. It's my favorite gaming podcast
Yeah,
to listen to. They put out a lot of good content. Have you guys been listening to P.S. I Love You, XOXO, Volume 2?
No.
That was the
Yeah,
show that Greg Miller used to do with Colin Moriarty,
Yeah.
Right.
and now he's doing it with Blessing Adeoye Jr.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been watching it. I haven't. I'm not like fully caught up. I'm like probably like a week behind.
Pop, what's in
Episodes.
your hair?
What do you mean?
What's that little
Yeah,
white
stripper
thing?
sparkle.
Dude, what
You don't
is
see that?
He's got a stripper sparkle.
I don't know, dude.
How long has that been there?
I don't even know what that was, dude.
Since he left work.
Oh shit, dude! Something just hit my nose.
All right, so I'm gonna put 2 minutes on the clock, and we're gonna go through each one of these stories. 2 minutes would have given. Normally we have our friend Herb Ferguson with us, and he's on vacation or something. So that would give us 30 seconds apiece. So we each get a little bit more time to squeeze in what we want to say here. And I'm gonna put 2 minutes on the clock. And the first one on the list is. It just says, I saw the Sonic movie, and that means Mike, go.
Yeah, so I saw the Sonic movie.
How was it?
It was actually not terrible. Like,
Okay.
I honestly went in expecting this to be like, okay, here's Sonic, give us your money.
Are you a
So,
Sonic fan?
I am a Sonic fan. I played the first two on Genesis, and then I played one of the Game Gear ones, which I actually played a lot.
Probably Sonic
until
2.
until going into like GameCube and then onto the 360 and the garbage fire it became from there. But the
There were
movie was
some good ones.
the movie was I mean, it wasn't a bad movie. The only complaint that I have of the whole thing is like you could replace Sonic with any character in that movie.
Yeah.
Like the fact that it's Sonic and it's Eggman and it's this and it's that has nothing to do with Sonic. There's no like super go fast, this and that and the other thing. Like there are points in the movie where he's like, okay, look at me, I go really fast and everything slows down. But every single problem that comes about from the movie is caused because he's not going fast enough.
Damn,
Really?
dude.
Like if at that moment he had just gone fast then, we wouldn't be here now.
Oh.
Like all he had to do was go faster.
You're saying that the
at
Sonic
that
movie has a
time.
plot hole?
Right. I'm saying it has a plot hole.
How was Jim Carrey in it?
Jim Carrey was fine. I recently watched a thing about him being a jerk, like on set to work with. So some of
Oh.
the things were kind of funny to watch because you were like, was that really in the script or was that him just ripping on somebody?
That's cool.
Other than Sonic being completely replaceable, like the plot of the movie, it was a fun little.
3 seconds. Did we need this movie?
No.
Okay, next topic. Halo surprise launches on Steam. I added this one. You know, I don't really know what else to
It's also
say.
on Games Pass.
Okay.
by
Oh,
the
that's
way.
for if you have
Yeah,
Games
yeah,
Pass,
yeah.
then you can download it for free.
Yeah, it's on Games Pass for the PC. It's already been on Xbox.
I was familiar with the original Halo to an extent of somebody I knew had it, and I played it when I was at that house. I liked the original Halo. That was a fun game. It really opened up when Halo 2 came out, and we did
Yeah.
LAN parties at this other dude's house with several consoles and TVs. That was super
Yes.
fun. This seems like a no-brainer to me. I threw it on the list because it's one of those games that it earned its place in history, and now you can get it on Steam, and I think that's pretty cool. I think more games should do
Yeah.
that. And does anybody have anything to add to Halo? I'm already done after 1 minute.
Yeah, like I think 2 is the one that people are really waiting for. They like already decided for PC, whether it's Steam or Games Pass, that they're going in this order. So I think 2 is really the one that people are waiting for. And then also I had some friends. I haven't booted it up, but I had some friends that played it, and like one of them brought up the like just menu theme, like the music that plays when you boot up Halo 1. And so then I went to fucking YouTube and just started like just in the background while I was doing shit was playing the Halo 1 soundtrack, and might be like the peak of fucking video game music. Like
It's
I
a
don't
good
know,
soundtrack.
it's really
It is
good.
really good.
Like
Yeah.
but
Like,
yeah, like
with 10 seconds
and I
left, do you
feel-
have anything to say?
Yeah, I just feel like they already did one Halo game on PC recently, so how hard could it be to make another Halo game?
yeah,
Not
They're
saying
doing-
they're all the same, but
That's
they're
time.
all close.
they're doing
Okay.
all of them.
So they got there's this Japanese retailer Bahute. Oh, sorry, I didn't start this one yet. Start the timer, and we're talking about the gamer bed. You've heard of a gaming chair? Now they have a gamer bed. This thing's ridiculous. Did you look at the picture?
I
Yes.
did.
So
ridiculous.
it's a bed with a desk at the end of it, and like a big body pillow at the head of it with a shelf built in, and you've got like a side shelf with a second little side apparatus that holds a keyboard, and then it looks like a rack system to hold all your energy drinks. I think that's what they're showing here in the picture, and it's got
Yeah, dude.
speakers.
Gotta have your
Yeah.
G Fuel.
Well,
So-
what do we do in this bed? Like, what's
Okay,
the point
so
of
not
this? How
sex,
often do you?
that's for
How
sure.
often? Not sex. Well, yeah. Why? It's
So
a
the
s-
idea of this bed,
a-
right? Selling this for gamers so that they can just lay around and that's it. Like, okay, great.
Does
But
sex count if it's with yourself?
Yeah, that's what it's fucking for.
Sorry, what were you saying, Mike?
the thing that bothers me about the bed, right, is that it doesn't even look like it's a bed built to be like a bed. It looks like a bed with a bunch of stuff that you rolled up next to it and said, "This is my gamer bed." Like, no way does it look like it's supposed to be connected. Like, it doesn't look like a headboard, footboard. You know, it doesn't look like
It's just a
It's
bunch
a
of
thing. It
accessories that
looks
go
like
next to a
somebody
bed.
put a stand-up desk at the foot of your bed and then rolled up a couple of shelves so you could put
I mean-
stuff on them.
I don't know if the lighting is gonna fucking allow this, but like,
No,
okay, no.
No,
Fuck.
it looks like
too
a
dark.
the abyss. What up,
My
Emerson?
setup is not very different from that. Like my
Yeah,
TV is
right.
at the base of my bed. Like,
But you
my
don't bring
computer's
you don't
right
bring a
here.
girl home and say like, check out my
Yeah.
gamer bed.
My gamer
No,
bed.
dude.
I mean, I know that. I don't know. What are you supposed to do? Never get out of this fucking bed and play? That's the time. Okay, thank God. That fuck
Thank
that
God.
bed. Fortnite has a new season. Take it away, Pop.
Yeah.
Oh, you're getting
so
an extra
Fortnite,
2 seconds.
Fortnite season 2 or chapter 2 season 2 launch made me fall, like, I kind of fell off Fortnite because I felt like they were slacking compared to like what they had previously built with like weekly updates and changes and all this shit. Like the new season came out, it's been great. Like it's like James Bond-esque themed, where it's like, you know, agents, there's good, there's bad, whatever. Like Deadpool is like a part of the battle pass. They added like new locations on the map, and the new locations have like basically like bots that like are there, and they'll
That was my
attack
question.
you, but you can go into like phone booths and change identities.
Is that kind of like how the
and then-
stormtroopers were? Like there would be stormtrooper camps.
Kinda. They're like completely new locations, and they're only set to those locations. I
How
don't
do you
know.
add
It's
new locations to an existing map?
Fortnite. Like,
Dude,
I don't
What do you
know,
mean?
like-
Like they made like a new island or something?
Yeah, like they just added locations that weren't there. Whether it's like this was like water before, and now there's like a base on the water, or like we just added a whole new like section to the map. Like, but yeah, they added new guns. They took out guns. Since the season's come out, they've added new gun. Like, I don't know. It's just, I feel like Fortnite's gotten back to like what I fell in love with and why I keep playing it, and it's been addicting. Like,
Why you
all
keep
week.
Banana Man buying Banana
Yeah.
Man pop vinyl figures?
fucking- all week I kept thinking about like
Dude, I think it's super cool
wanting to
that they're
play.
still updating stuff and still updating it like this intensely.
To
Like,
answer your question, Mike, yes, I would like to
Two
play a
things.
couple rounds after we're done with the podcast.
and just like casually like Deadpool, like I feel like that's being like super underrated. It's just like, hey, like this Marvel character is like a part of the battle pass here. just
That's the
have it.
time.
Like, it's like
Ghost of Tsushima has a new release date and new trailer. Sorry. Go. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was you added that too.
Yeah, I did this one too. The trailer is fantastic. I linked it there. You guys should definitely watch it. If
I
you
mean, I
haven't.
could put it on while you're talking about it. So
Yeah, it's not very long. This game, like,
it's longer than we
I-
have to talk about it.
yeah, I feel like it is giving me the vibes that like a Last of Us or the most recent God of War has given me, where it's like all the trailers they've put out, all the content they've put out is like very like epic in scale, and the more they show, they haven't shown a lot, but the more that they show, I keep getting more and more excited about it.
It does look really good.
how much gameplay have we seen?
Not a whole lot.
Like a little bit,
Yeah, like
enough to
Like,
know
I
like
think-
how the game plays, but like they didn't really.
it kind of seems like maybe it's an open world, and it kind of seems like it might play similar to like the Arkham games a little bit.
Nah,
Like
this
the
looks more
Batman
like a
games were, like-
FromSoft game.
So in this trailer specifically, yes, but like in one of the trailers that they showed, like gameplay, there was like the guy gets up in the rafters, he marks enemies, he sees an enemy, he drops down and stealth kills him. And then like I don't know, I feel like it's going to be like a stealthy type game, but then like the combat is very like sword based, so it's like tactical, like kind of like Bushido Blade.
Whenever I see it, I just hope for Tenchu. Remember Tenchu, PS1?
Yeah, Tenchu. Yeah.
Stealth Assassins. If it plays like that, where you can
like
stealth your whole way
Sekiro?
through, it's kind of,
it's
but like I
kinda
think
looks like Sekiro a
it just
little bit.
looks like that. But I feel like this game is more like all I know is that if you can stealth your way through this game,
look
like
at that
100%.
That scene that they just showed
Yeah.
with the flower, like the
That's
field
time.
of the
Shit.
like, pinkish flowers, it's fantastic.
That's time.
Yeah.
I also pre-ordered the collector's edition. just
Nice.
So you know.
The
Thank you.
Nintendo PlayStation has actually sold at auction, and this is crazy because if you don't know that, I'm just gonna really quickly blast it off. Oh, let me get back to the. Hold on, I'm gonna start that one over. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Minute and 50 seconds. The Nintendo PlayStation was a collaborative effort between Nintendo and Sony to add a disc-based add-on to the already existing Super Nintendo to prolong its life to compete with the new systems that were having CD-based, media. And at the last minute, they decided to do a deal with Philips instead. So this prototype of the Nintendo PlayStation existed. Some guy bought a bunch of boxes from a company in an auction for $75. The Nintendo PlayStation was in there. They got the shit legitimized. Ben Heck, a YouTube modder, like the best. Everybody says go to Ben Heck. He got the CD drive to work. They got cartridges to play on it. Somebody from Sweden offers this guy $1 million for the console, and he turns it down. Then they put it up at auction. Sells for $320,000. I think $360 once the auction gets their cut. It's a piece of history. It belongs in a museum, and I think that's where it's going.
That's good.
So it's
good
cool,
to see
but
that. This is definitely a thing that should be in a museum.
it's the most expensive gaming thing to date.
Right.
More expensive
Yeah.
than a sealed stadium event.
Yeah. And I think that the fact that it's Sony and Nintendo working together thing shows that, we came from a place where all these video game companies could work together, and maybe someday we'll get back there where we'll all just come back to one video game.
Rocket League, man.
And I want to bring
Yeah.
this up.
Rocket League.
Like, there's a topic that we're going to talk about later that
10
I think
seconds.
this is going to come back up again. I'm going to bring this up later on.
Oh yeah, this one, the Nintendo PlayStation. I would like to talk
Yes,
about it.
I'm
again,
gonna
too.
I'm gonna bring it up
There's
later
the
on
time.
in another topic that we're talking about.
The biggest news right now in gaming, and I'm going to start the timer right here at 2 minutes, but it'll never be enough time to talk about that. HBO is going to be making The Last of Us into a TV series, and they're going to be working with Neil Druckmann.
With Neil Druckmann.
And the guy-
I don't know if you guys have seen
He
Chernobyl.
tweeted, oh, no, I haven't seen Chernobyl.
So Chernobyl, the director of that is also the director of this. It's him and Neil Druckmann. That show is really good. I recommend it. It's like 6 episodes long. I'm super excited. I can't.
Oh,
express
shit,
how
I
excited
didn't
am
start the
about it.
timer, so I actually just started the timer, so
no.
that works.
Oh,
That's
man.
good. That's good,
But yeah,
because Last of Us
the-
HBO TV show.
The director of Chernobyl is doing this, and that show was like directed where it's like I can see how it translates over.
I am so happy I never, ever
Yeah.
watched the stupid-ass Walking Dead, because this is what I was waiting
Dude,
for.
that's what I when I saw this, that's what I was thinking of. I was like, The Last of Us, like lore and all the stuff behind it lends itself so well to like a TV show. Like I don't know what direction they're going in, but like
How about
if
the
you
fact
just get-
that it's zombies, but like this could really
Yeah.
happen.
exactly. Like think about like the sections in Last of Us, right? Like spoilers, but it's like okay, like hey, we're in Boston, right? Like that could be a whole season of just them being in Boston, right? And like they just
Man.
got, dude, I'm so excited for it. It's like,
Man, and then if they ever, it sounds like they're getting some ground in this Uncharted movie. Like, but the fact that Neil Druckmann is gonna pen this thing,
yes,
You know what I
that's
mean?
the best part.
and
Like I
and
have all.
I'll tell you
faith
what,
in
the
Neil
only thing
Druckmann.
that will make me, well, I'll watch it no matter what, but the only thing that would make me want to watch it less would be as if Gustavo doesn't do the music.
Oh my god, dude!
But
if
you
he
know
does
he's gonna do the music.
Oh.
Gustavo, Neil Druckmann posted a picture of himself with Gustavo
Gustavo.
on Instagram today, saying working on The Last of Us 2 and some other projects. What the fuck does that mean? What other projects?
All right, I gotta go pee. I'll be back.
Dude, you, in the middle of the rapid fire news?
I know. I'm sorry. I have to.
Mike, in 14 seconds, what do you think of the Last of Us TV show?
I'm really excited for The Last of Us TV show. Unfortunately, I don't know enough about The Last of Us to really be super excited.
But you're playing it
any
soon.
Game,
Ding.
Yeah.
Okay, the last one on the list, and I'm going to start the timer now, is this GeForce Now debacle. Have you read anything about this, Mike?
Yeah, so I put the article that's in here.
Yeah.
And I also was listening to a bunch of other podcasts, people also talking about a similar issue. So basically, GeForce Now is like a service where you can use basically outside computers to play your games and have it streamed to you.
It's Google Stadia, but done right.
Right. But I believe it's set up so that they don't offer games. They offer computing power, but not the games. So you have to have the games that you want to play. And now developers and companies are coming to them and saying, we don't want our game participating in this because we're not getting anything for it.
Unfucking believable.
So it leads to the question, if they're not actually providing the game and just the computing power and they already own the game somewhere else, do you really own the game if the people that really own the game tell you you can't play it here?
It's unacceptable. There's nothing about this. With 53 seconds left to go in this thing, that's unacceptable. You bought the license to play the game from the company. You can't buy any games through GeForce Now. GeForce Now is server rental. What I choose to do while I'm renting your server is my fucking business.
Right.
Well, the only viable reason that I could see for anybody saying that we're not going to let you play our software on that service is that if they think that that service won't accurately depict the quality of their product. And if that's really what you're saying, then that's fine. But if you're just being grimy and being like, we're not getting a piece of that, fuck you. You already got your piece of it when that user bought their game. So go fuck off and die. Ding. And that's how we end that segment. So until I get the round of applause segment, give ourselves a round of applause. We did it.
Hey.
Thank you. Okay. Now we can do one of two things. We can go into our topics, or you can choose to expand on one of these other topics if you like, because it's your show too, man. It's not my show.
I have a third option. I would like
option D.
I would like to take a topic from the topic section and move it into the rapid fire news section.
Okay.
I feel like I'm the only one that cares about it.
You want me to set that timer up again?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Wanna.
Well, is it the Animal Crossing Direct?
It's the Animal Crossing Direct.
Mike cares about that.
I care about the Animal Crossing Direct.
But you guys can talk to each other about it because I don't care.
Specifically.
Ready?
Like, I don't have anything. I don't have anything to say about Animal. Like I'm really excited about it. It's
Here's
one
your
of my
2 minutes. It's going.
It's one of my favorite franchises. It's like long overdue, and like that's it. Like I don't know. The Direct didn't do much for me because I'm already like unbelievably hyped for it. Like
right. I'm actually the complete opposite on this one. I was looking at this as another Animal Crossing game. Like, okay, another Animal Crossing game. Like I enjoyed New Leaf carrying around in my 3DS. Being able to bring a Switch around now will be a cool change, a nice little power upgrade, even if it's just a little bit to play Animal Crossing. But I was super excited from the Direct watching like what you're doing with it now. Like the possibility for me to be able to go into this and never become in debt with Tom Nook and just live in a tent for the rest of my life is like super exciting to me.
Dude,
I'm like, fuck you, Nook. I'm out.
I've been joking. I've been telling people like I'm just gonna tell people in real life, like when this game comes out, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, like I'm trying to avoid the coronavirus. I'm going to an island.
What the
and that's it. Like I'm like it's like I don't know. Like this game is going to consume me. It's what Mark was talking about like a couple months ago when he said he was playing Fortnite on his breaks at lunch.
Yeah,
that
but
is going to be me with Animal Crossing.
Here's my problem with it. It's $60, right?
Yes.
That shit should have just been an app.
No,
It's
fucking
they
iPhone
did
app.
literally
an
Animal Crossing is the
app, and it
most
was a-
value that you will get out of $60 of any Nintendo IP because it's built to play for multiple years.
Yeah, but
I
it's stupid and
logged
it's
on-
corny and it looks so dumb and I hate it.
It's like if you hate happiness, you'll hate Animal Crossing.
No, I don't hate
That's
happiness,
true.
and I'm sure it would
It's
be
like,
fun to play. I just don't know
hey-
why they couldn't update it a little. It looks like ding. Thank God. What a stupid ass game. That.
This guy.
I'm not buying that shit.
You're
Damn,
gonna buy it
Crossing.
because it's still gonna be the only way to communicate with me from March 20th on.
You're gonna have to go to
I will
Pop's
only
Island.
communicate in
Yo.
Animal Crossing letters. That's it. Like,
Yo,
if you wanna
on
talk
some,
to
if
me.
I could be real with you,
I'm down.
I love you guys. Yeah, that's the most compelling reason I've heard yet to buy that fucking game. Because other than that, it looks like trash.
Here's another reason. Here's another reason.
I'm just saying, that
Your-
if I'm judging a book by its cover, I would never.
I know,
Ever wanna
because
read that
Animal
book.
Crossing is a terrible game to show off. You can't show
Yes.
off that game because it doesn't.
No.
Like people were saying, like I had somebody
appeals to
who
a
went
person.
to PAX and was like, the early game of Animal Crossing is boring. It's like there is no early game. Like that's
It's-
not a
I wish it
thing.
was like a Super Nintendo game when I was younger. Maybe then I would love it.
Here's
But
here's my
Harvest
thing.
Moon.
Here's my thing.
is that
Mark,
kind of what Harvest Moon was?
I mean, it's more farming in Harvest Moon.
Yeah.
But it's like essentially the same.
I
Live
can't
your
even
life
experience
kinda-
Harvest Moon because isn't that like $100 game?
Yes.
It's on PC,
expensive.
like newer
yeah, yeah.
versions, but
Oh,
Starview.
well, Stardew
Valley.
is very Harvest Moon-ish, but
Which one's better?
cheers.
should I get the black cherry per pop?
Dude, the black cherry is ass. The black cherry is terrible. But Mark, here's my thing with Animal Crossing. The last thing. I'll
Hey,
say-
this was supposed to be a 2-minute fucking.
I know. I could talk about Animal Crossing for hours. Just hear me out on this, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to like bring your like personal life up, but it's like I know.
Oh,
I know.
No, by all means, go ahead.
Okay, so like your girlfriend, right? Like
Mhm.
she's like maybe not the biggest
Video
into,
game
like,
fan. Wow, these
video
things are
game.
terrible. The worst ones.
She will 100% love Animal Crossing. It will be the easiest way to like convey to her why video games are cool.
You know what? You know what?
I've never been so positive about something in my life.
No. You know what? I understand why you would think that, but I'm telling you right now, there already is one game. Well, there's 2 games that we
Animal
like to
Crossing
play.
could be the third.
No, I'm telling you, one of them is Trivial Pursuit on Switch.
I'm just gonna send it
Yep.
to you. Like,
The other one, believe it or not, is Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe on
Nice.
PS3.
Nice.
Yeah.
I-
I said, I
it's
was like, yo, let's
overcooked.
play some Mario Kart.
You gotta try over.
right? Yeah.
Didn't I say
and
let's
Animal
play
Crossing.
Mario Kart? Hey.
She's like, what? Fuck you.
Got the headphones on. Anyway.
You gotta try Overcooked, man. As a
I pre-
couple of
I-
game.
I ordered the Animal Crossing Switch.
No, I'm fine with the current
That's how much I love the
setup.
game.
I like the current
I'm-
situation. It's fine. I just play
I'm
the
buying-
Final Fantasy VII Remake demo over and over again. That's what I play
I'm
these
buying
days.
a new Switch for this game.
Yeah.
It's coming the fucking.
I
I'm
never-
buying- dude.
I did that for Uncharted 4. That's not even what.
Yeah.
Get on my level,
Okay.
son.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, this game has fucking longer lasting life than Uncharted.
Of course it does. Well,
It's
actually, I don't know if you
built-
count the multiplayer. I could play that right now.
Yeah, but like I logged on to an emulator of Animal Crossing Wild World, which is the fucking Nintendo just regular DS version, and it had accurate information. It was like, hey, it's March 2nd, 2020. Okay, it's also like fucking like dude, I'm telling you. Oh,
Yeah,
Mark,
so-
you'll love this game. You'll love this game.
All right, I'll try it. But I feel like how is it any different from Seaman for Dreamcast?
I don't know what that game is.
It's like Tamagotchi, but on Dreamcast.
Yeah, but that was more like supposed to be a
Tamagotchi.
like
Like
a
a-
psychology thing.
Yeah, I guess.
okay.
Talk to
So
it
it's
and
like
answer
Sims,
its
right? Like-
questions.
Yeah, The Sims I could see having fun,
it's-
and that's my problem
it's-
with it though. Like I feel
Okay,
like if
so
I was going
imagine
to
The
hold on,
Sims,
hold
but with
on.
Alice-
Let me just say, I feel like if I was going to commit the amount of time that I would like probably end up pouring into a game like Animal Crossing if it is what you say it is, right? And I just fall in love with it and just want to play it all the time, or like in all my free time. And there already is a game like that that I neglect, and it's Cities Skylines, which I that's how I felt about that game. Like every second where I wasn't doing anything, I wanted to just exist in that game and build my city. And like, why would I want to? I feel like that's the whole point, is that Animal Crossing looks like a waste of my fucking time. I feel like I could do something better.
Well,
I'm not trying to shit on your game. I understand that there's games that look like terrible garbage like this one does, but are probably still good. But come on, you can't tell me that it looks good. It doesn't. It looks stupid. It looks like if you didn't know what it was about, you would never fucking go near it.
But hold on,
it looks the best
bad
of all
about
of them.
it? Yeah, like that's what I don't understand. Yeah,
It looks the best of all.
Yes,
for sure.
You want?
Oh,
Is that too loud?
don't fucking try me on Animal Crossing. It's like my favorite franchise of all time.
It's all right, man.
Not that loud.
Dude, I was when I went to the
give it
fucking
2
video-
weeks, and he can't contact any of us.
Yeah, exactly. When I
He'll
went
come
to
to the island.
when I went to like fucking whatever it's called, RetroCon with Mark, almost
Retro
spent,
World
like,
Expo.
Retro World Expo. I almost spent $140 on the fucking cardboard pop out of Animal Crossing
Really?
because because it's my it's literally my out of every video game that I've ever played, regardless of what console, anything, Animal Crossing is by far my favorite like franchise of games ever.
What's your favorite one?
It is the most. I mean, like my favorite one is the GameCube one because that's the one that I started with and like I put the most time into.
Yeah,
I
me
think
too.
New Leaf is probably a better, like a well-rounded, better game. But the GameCube one is my favorite. Like,
Yeah, me too.
they found that the GameCube one had emulators in it to play NES games. Like just recently, like a couple years ago.
That was cool.
Like, yeah, this game, I'm telling you, it's so good. I'm so excited. I've never been more excited about a game. Like
And that's time.
yeah.
Mhm.
I can talk about this forever, so you gotta cut me off.
I know.
March
This is
4th,
right.
2000 was when the PS2 was released in Japan.
No shit.
So 3 days ago was the 20th anniversary of the actual initial release of the PS2. If we can get into our... Oh, you know what? Hold on. Let's take a step back. If you're just joining us, welcome to the Don't Hate the Podcast. This is our weekly gaming show when we talk about whatever the hell we want. And before we get into it, we have a list of topics. But we skipped a segment that we usually do, and that's just talking about what we've been playing lately. And I think now is a pretty good time to talk about what we've been playing. And I think, Mike, you got like your first big PlayStation achievement
Oh,
recently.
Oh shit! All right, so I believe the last time that we convened, I told you guys that me and my wife were playing Overcooked 2 because we finished the first one
On PS4.
and yes, on PS4,
Mhm.
and we quite recently finished Overcooked 2 for PS4, and this is my first ever platinum trophy that we actually took the time and effort and strove to get the extra things that we needed to actually get the platinum.
yeah.
So that was super cool. It was a bunch of like random things at the end that held us back from the platinum, just like these little extra trophies. So in Overcooked 1, you get 2 buttons. You pick things up and you have an action button, and that's it. And so in Overcooked 2, they add the other 2 face buttons in. So now you have a dash button and you have a emote button.
Okay.
But they also made it so that your action button, if you're not in front of a thing that requires an action, will let you throw whatever you're holding. So it added a whole new mechanic. So now you can run and throw things in this game. So
That's dope.
with the throwing came a lot more achievements that they hid, like throwing 500 items, catching 250 items.
All right.
Throwing and landing in a cooking pot like 100 items. Washing dishes was a big one. We actually farmed washing dishes because you had to wash 300 dishes.
I feel like this might be the one that me and my girl have a blast playing because we
Yeah,
like
I'm
watching
telling
Hell's
Overcooked's
Kitchen.
fun. Oh,
Yep.
great show.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
I mean they cook a bunch of
recommend
dead
this.
shit, but still it's fun to watch.
Anything with Gordon Ramsay in it is good.
Gordon Ramsay he's a
Hell's
fun- a
Kitchen,
fun-
Master Chef.
Yeah, those
watch
are the
it all.
two.
Dude,
Those are the
it's so
two good
good.
ones. Fuck
Yeah.
that Master Chef Junior nonsense.
Yeah,
Nobody wants to watch
Like-
those little twerps.
yeah, he's like too nice with the little kids. Like
Yeah,
I want him to be.
no, I don't want to
kinda
see that.
mean,
That's
like,
not why I
dude, this
tune in.
apple pie is ass. Like that's
Yeah.
what I want. Like
Smash it in the kid's face.
yeah.
Don't ever come up here with that bullshit again.
What are you gonna cry?
Yeah, what are you gonna cry, you little fucking pussy?
And he just flosses on him.
So I take it,
Yeah,
Mike, that you've been playing
feel like-
Overcooked too.
Yeah, so I feel like Overcooked 2 is a really good game. Not even for like how good you are at video games, but how good your teamwork and communication is.
Yeah, because it's just a couple of buttons.
Right, and the missus doesn't play a ton of games, but like immediately was like, okay, this button to do this and this button to do this, and now it's just a time crunch and figuring out
You
how
mean
to
what
work
video
the
games?
obstacles.
What playing video games is?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
this
Just
button
with
does
less
this.
buttons.
Well,
Yeah.
let's be honest. It was more
Well-
buttons than it was when video games started.
Yeah.
Okay,
dude.
that's true.
Yeah.
Other than Overcooked, I've also been grinding out finishing Spider-Man.
Okay.
Okay.
So
okay.
I'm like
Gonna get that platinum?
85%.
I was gonna say that's another really easy platinum. It's
Yeah.
like, I didn't even try to platinum, and I
Same.
platinumed it.
Yeah.
Same.
So I'm gonna take a look at the list, I guess, once I'm done. If I don't
Just
get
about
it,
collecting
on its
backpacks and taking pictures
Get all
of
those
stuff.
backpacks.
yeah, I did all that stuff as it
Yeah.
unlocked.
Oh, you did the backpacks and the photos?
Backpacks.
This is
photos,
exactly why this
You're
thing needs a
gonna-
trophy. You're already
You're
almost
gonna
there.
platinum it. Like
the
it's
labs,
so
the
such a-
crimes, all of them.
But
Like,
you
everything that unlocks.
you still have fun when you play that game.
Dude, that
it-
game.
That game's like playing Grand Theft Auto, but with Spider-Man as the main
the
character.
swinging is
Right.
so fun.
Ah,
dude.
it's just-
Yeah, that's what it is. It's the feel of being Spider-Man in that game that's really fun, because I did find myself already like with the story at one point just being like, okay, can we
Story's-
just
yeah.
move forward and like where are we going? Like,
You know what yeah, that was maybe the worst part
Yeah.
about it. But
But
the
the feel
being
of it
Spider-Man.
is
And
spot on.
what I
Amazing.
really liked about that game was how they really encouraged you, or not even encouraged you so much, but just like gave you that freedom to make your own build. Like, all those cool
Yeah.
special abilities. Like, which one do I like? Like,
Yeah.
I think for such a
your
long time,
suit.
I had the one where I would like jump up in the air, spin around, and it would like shoot webs at like multiple enemies and just wrap them all
Yeah.
up. That was
Right.
like the ultimate for me, but like you didn't have to have that one. You could have
No,
any.
mine is the rock out blast where he
Oh,
jumps
yeah.
up in the air and goes back down and it blasts everyone away and stuns them for a short amount
See,
of time.
exactly. That's what I mean. Like it was like Batman fighting,
Yep.
but
Which
with
makes
like
sense
this
with
feeling of
Spider-Man.
like traversal. Even though you
Yes.
were swinging through the air, was just felt fun like a GTA. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
The
from
physics were like just right.
like there was
to
a
make it
fast
feel-
travel, but I oftentimes didn't even want to use the fast travel because
Yeah.
it like took away one of the most fun parts of the game.
Right.
And that's I think why did that game get Game of the Year?
No, God of War.
no.
Well, it's stiff competition.
Yeah.
Two totally different things. Admison,
Yeah.
have you since
Would
you know
definitely recommend Spider-Man.
have you
sure.
have you played it, or are you saying you want to play it again? Oh, Admison is not a PlayStation guy.
Yeah.
Admison's not a PlayStation.
Well,
guy.
PlayStation did say something about bringing over Horizon, right? So that
What
could
to
be
PC?
yeah,
Yeah,
a rumor-
that's a
yeah.
rumor.
The rumor is
The
that
rumor is that they're gonna bring it to PC to generate hype for that game, and then when people say like, "Oh, there's a sequel, but I have to buy a PS5," that's smart.
but I don't know.
Spider-Man is
Either way.
great. Spider-Man is like here's the thing. Sometimes there's games on consoles that are a reason to buy that console. And I think
Yeah.
Spider-Man is a reason to buy a PS4 if you don't have one.
Absolutely.
My
I
buddy,
think most of the time
Ben,
you
is
need
going to buy a
game.
PS4 for Final Fantasy VII when it comes out.
Yeah.
Dude,
It's
what?
I
just
think
that
you need a
important
game
to
to
him,
buy
you know?
this
We
system.
gotta get 40 to buy a PlayStation, dude.
It's not going to happen, I don't think.
Yeah,
He's
I
like
think I
selling
can
all this
convince him,
shit.
dude.
Uncharted.
Anyway.
Shit talk Nintendo until he buys a PlayStation.
Admison, what's funny is that when I went, I had this job where we did water damage restoration. I don't want to get too into this because we're talking about what we've been playing. But when I was doing that job, we had a loss at Foxwoods Casino. A water main broke on the 30th floor of their new MGM casino and affected like 15 rooms on every floor, 23 floors down. And we had to go there and dry it out. And we stayed there for like 2 weeks straight. We were supposed to only be for a week, but a blizzard happened and we were like trapped in the casino, so we just kept working. I had like, I don't know. I had a whole fucking bunch of hours when that week was over. I finally got to go home what it felt like, you know, because I came back from after that week and kept working hard, like locally, because it was just a fucked up winter, you know, and everybody's pipes were bursting, so we had a lot of water to clean up. And I got the paychecks from those like long, like 80-hour weeks. And I went and bought myself a TV and a PS3 and a copy of Uncharted because it was like a game that I didn't know much about, and the back of the box looked interesting. That's really all it was. And the rest is history, man. I mean, I'm just saying, like, yeah, you're making a joke, Admison. But yes, Uncharted was definitely a reason to buy a PS4. Like, why would I buy an Xbox midway through of all this bullshit when I have such an affinity for that story and those characters? Last of Us, you know what I mean?
Xbox
Spider,
is no good.
Dude,
like what? Yeah, Gears of War? Okay, Halo? All right.
what are we playing? Halo?
Everything, but Xbox wants their
State of Decay.
Xbox wants their ecosystem, yeah. Forza. You can play Forza on the Xbox ecosystem now, right? They said themselves. Phil Spencer said that Nintendo and Sony are no longer Microsoft's biggest competitors. He said that he feels that their bigger competitors are Amazon and Google. Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Good luck.
So it was kind of funny because like
Good luck,
that-
Phil.
we talked about that, but then like this was a couple weeks ago because we haven't done the podcast. Like the following week, he came out and also said like we have unique ways that we're gonna try to compete with PlayStation because like you're kidding yourself if you think that like Xbox doesn't consider like Nintendo and Sony
Well,
like competitors.
They are
It's
competitors, but he
the
just said that
fact
they're not
like,
their biggest competitors.
they cannot compete right now in the current state with Nintendo and Xbox. PlayStation. Nintendo's first party output and PlayStation's first party output fucking body Xbox's first party output to the point where it's like they can't even compete. It's gonna take a whole another generation to try and just catch up.
Yeah, they bought a bunch of
to
studios,
both
but
of them.
first party stuff aside, if we cast first party stuff aside, Admison, you're right. He's not wrong, but also to say that your biggest competitors are Amazon and Google is the same thing as Nvidia with their GeForce technology saying that their direct competitors are Amazon and Google because they're all the ones who are in that space with the streaming and renting the servers with the high-powered GPUs and all this. Like, PlayStation's like, yeah, we can do that too. PlayStation, I feel like that's the thing about PlayStation. And not to sound like a fanboy, I know I run the risk every time I say it, but, like, they have done a lot of things before anybody else. Like, look at the Nintendo Switch. Like, everything that it does, you could do with PlayStation stuff, just in a clunky, kind of janky-ass way, right? If you have a Vita and a PS3, then you could technically play a PS4. You could technically play your PS4 games
Like
out and about, right? But you need a good internet connection and all this and that. And then Nintendo's like, that's a great idea. Let's do it right. You know?
there was a
But
there
what
was an
Nintendo-
article.
Nintendo knows better than anybody about first party exclusive titles. right? And Sony just happens to also have that. And that's where Microsoft falls short. Master Chief is cool. I agree. The guys from Gears of War are generic, like, thick-necked, fucking heavy-ass, unrealistic, gun-carrying, like, just, well, I don't know. It's not... Forza is cool. Gran Turismo is cool, too, but I could have just as much fun playing Need for Speed. I don't know. This is me.
There was an article that came out this week. I almost posted it in the fucking doc, but we were so loaded already. I was like, whatever. But it was something like the PlayStation has outsold the PlayStation 4 has outsold the Xbox by like 64 million units or something like that. Like, it's like not even like like this is like maybe the biggest gap there's been between like consoles. Because like I feel like the Switch you can't even compare because it just came out. Like, obviously there's going to be a huge gap there, but it's like
well, Nintendo themselves said that they don't include
like,
themselves as that generation. They have their own.
I'm pretty sure the Switch has already outsold the Xbox like One or whatever the fuck.
I
it's
got
called.
the numbers right here. The
Like,
Switch, the Nintendo Switch, has outsold which one? The original
the
what?
Xbox One, like this
Yes.
generation.
Yes. Nintendo Switch,
and like it
as of-
has like the Xbox has a 4-year head start or something like.
the Xbox One has sold 46.9 million units. That's an estimate because Microsoft stopped releasing their numbers.
Stopped releasing.
The
The
Nintendo,
PlayStation sold over 100 million.
the Super Nintendo has sold more than the Xbox One.
It's I don't know. Like I feel like
So
if I'm legitimately looking at like the Xbox and the PlayStation and I'm deciding which one I'm trying to buy for like the next generation, I feel like regardless of what you look like, maybe Xbox has like better features as far as like the Xbox Games Pass is great. Like I pay for it on PC. It's fantastic. But like when you boil it down to like console versus console, doesn't matter if the Xbox is a little more powerful.
this is the most perfect
so the games
segue.
look good.
This is the
It
most
doesn't
perfect
matter.
segue.
It's like the PlayStation has so many more good games that are getting sequels for sure to look forward to than the Xbox does, that it makes absolutely no sense to buy the new Xbox than it does the PlayStation. Like when you buy the PlayStation, you know that you're getting God of War 2, Spider-Man 2, Bloodborne 2, Horizon 2,
Last of Us 2 remastered.
There's whatever
You know it's gonna be
Kojima
there.
is working on next, like whatever Naughty Dog is working on next,
Kingdom
whatever
Hearts 40.
Sucker Punch is working on next. You're getting the first available content for fucking the not Resident Evil. What's the demo that you just played?
Final Fantasy Remake.
Final Fantasy VII has an exclusive deal with PlayStation.
Timed
It's going to continue to do that. Like it makes there's like Xbox is so far behind that like I feel like it doesn't make any sense, and that's why I think they come out and say like, oh, PlayStation and Nintendo aren't our competitors. It's the streaming services like Amazon and Google, because they have a legitimate race in that. Like I feel like Xbox is far ahead of Nintendo and Sony as far as like streaming goes. And they're also like compared to Google, the way that it came out and launched was fucking horrendous. And so like Xbox I think has an edge on them. So it's the easy answer for them to say like, these are our competitors. These are who we're worried about, because it's like they can't compete in the other like they can't like Xbox can't compete with Zelda and Mario and fucking Kratos and
You know what's wild?
They can't compete.
This is a tangent when we were talking about what we've been playing.
I know.
Pop, what you been playing?
The last game that I've been playing
Oh,
this
shit.
week, right? It's called Superliminal.
Oh, right.
Right?
That's right.
It's like a
Sorry,
puzzle perspective
No.
game.
Yeah. First person puzzle perspective game. I like the alliteration there. It's like Portal too, right?
Yes, it's got a super heavy Portal vibe. It's like room
Pop's
by
going
room.
to pee.
Again.
More alliteration. Pop's going to pee when you
Oh, yeah.
prepare your portal. Mustaine75 says, I wish I had a PS4 Pro just for this comparison, because as it stands, the Xbox One X is by far a better console than my regular PS4. But Sony definitely has a huge edge in game exclusives. And
Yeah.
Killer Metal Mike says baby bladder, and that's what I was laughing about. Mustaine, oh, Admison and Mustaine with the rekindling. Look at that. So we breed.
Yeah.
We breed love here.
So,
Mustaine,
Super-
PS4 Pro is great. It's better than the original PS4, but mine's loud as fuck. Sounds like a jet engine. I have to clean it. So, but anyway.
So yeah, Super Portal vibes.
Superliminal portal. Right.
Superliminal Portal vibes.
Do you want to keep talking by yourself? Because I got a baby bladder right now, too.
All right, baby bladder.
Talk to Admison and Mustaine.
Jesus. Oh man. Oh, we got one back. Here we go. Let's trade him out. Trade him out. Hey, Pop. Welcome back.
Sorry. Emergency pee.
I know. Baby bladder.
Yeah.
Mark went to empty his too.
It's when I get drunk, my bladder just fucking goes to like shit.
So anyway, Superliminal. Pretty cool puzzle perspective game, but it feels a lot like Portal. Like room by room, little test chambers, little puzzles to solve before you
Yeah.
can move to the next area. But I'm still having a good time with it. Like the perspective thing is like a, you know, it's a neat way to make a puzzle. Picking up a thing and changing your relativity to that thing to make it bigger or smaller.
Yeah.
No, I don't have to pee though. I'm good. We're gonna keep rocking on this thing.
I don't know. I need to like play through. Like honestly, like I think I've played through all of Portal 1, but like Portal 2, I feel like I've watched people play it,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think like I have it on Steam, but I don't think I've ever played it before. Like I've never played through the puzzle of Portal 2.
I mean, it's fun. If you played Portal 1, it's just more Portal. Just
Yeah.
it has a few more gimmicks to it. So
Mike, you got to do peeps.
what's up?
I'm just reading the chat.
Yeah, no, we're good.
Pop,
Yo.
what you been playing? Oh, wait,
So-
Superliminal. Yeah, cool. Awesome. 3D fucking Portal game.
Yeah, super cool.
No, I wanted to ask you, though. Are you happy
What
that you
is-
bought it on PC and not waited for, like, what is it? PSVR? Is that what it's coming out for?
I don't know if it's coming out for PSVR. I know, was it VR? I know it was in that PlayStation, whatever. It
Yes,
was called.
Sizzle.
it is.
That lineup.
I'm pretty sure this is PlayStation VR.
It's coming to the VR.
It seems
So
like
that'd
it would be a cool game in VR.
It definitely would be a cool game in VR.
Because when you
It's a
said
cool game
said
just to play
Portal,
on
Do you guys all want to come over and try my headset?
Oh,
Yeah.
you know it, buddy.
please. When you said Portal, that's immediately what I thought of. I didn't realize it was the same game.
Yeah.
But yeah, that looks fucking cool.
It,
I do
like
wanna
I
play
said,
the
it's
Portal.
really fun playing with puzzles, but even down to the like narrator that narrates what's going on. So
Sounds like
the,
GLaDOS.
yeah, the story that they're trying to feed you is that like you're in a dream and nothing can hurt you, and that's why you can change the shape of objects and then you're with your perspective because you're dreaming, and then they can't get you out of the dream, and instead you go deeper in a dream or something, and they're like, it's dreamception and things are getting fucked up in here.
Oh,
But
shit.
the whole thing has a a narrator over the whole top of it that even sounds like a polite British man.
Oh, well, that's
So,
always
you know.
fun.
It's like a
Kind of the opposite of Hello Neighbor.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
King of Ramen 93. What's good? I know who that is. It's the real, everybody. Yeah, it's the real. Ugh, I gotta go. The classic. Yeah, we're having a lot of fun tonight. Now, Pop could tell us what he's been playing. In 1 second, I'm gonna go get a sweatshirt.
So what you playing, Pop?
I've been playing Call of Duty.
Yeah, which one?
Modern Warfare.
All right.
They added back my.
Where are you playing it?
I'm playing on PC.
Okay.
They did an update. First of all, can I just rant for a second?
Yeah.
At one point I uninstalled Call of Duty.
What game was it? He uninstalled Call of Duty.
Call of
Yeah.
Duty. I uninstalled Call of Duty. Then they had a huge update that the rumor is, it's not even a rumor, it's confirmed, like at some point there's going to be a Call of Duty Battle Royale that is going to release, and they had this huge update for it. It was a 75 gig update.
Damn.
That's where I'd be like, nope.
No, hold on. It gets
Okay.
worse. I uninstalled Call of Duty. To reinstall Call of Duty, it was 168 gigs.
Holy shit.
168 gigs for one game.
That actually
That's fucking. It's too much.
that
It's too-
that
it's
that
ridiculous.
provokes an interesting question that I have though. How much storage memory
It's
comes
too
with
much.
the new consoles?
It has to be at
It
least. a
seems
terabyte.
like 1 terabyte
least
is like the
the
minimum.
minimum. The minimum.
That's a yikes for me, dog.
But so I've been playing Call of Duty. They added some old.
Oh wait,
maps.
the newest Call of Duty?
Yeah, modern. It's
Modern
so
Warfare
weird because
reboot.
It's Modern Warfare, but like there's already been a Modern Warfare.
It's the
and a
Modern Warfare reboot.
remastered, but it's not either of those. It's just
Right.
Modern
It's
Warfare.
Modern Warfare the reboot.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So but they added Modern Warfare the original and Modern Warfare 2 maps to the new Modern Warfare. And one of the maps they added was Rust, which is like this iconic map from Modern Warfare 2, where it's this really small map. There's like kind of like a tower in the middle that you can climb, but basically it's like a square map. And it's one of my favorite maps. So like when they add, because Modern Warfare 2 was like the Call of Duty that I kind of started on and like went super hard, like 15, 16-year-old
I
pop
think
was just
Black
like,
Ops 2
Modern
was
Warfare
mine.
2 was the only game that
Oh, no.
mattered.
Modern
like, an
Warfare
entire
3 for
summer.
me, and then Black Ops
Yeah.
2 were the ones
So,
that
like-
I played the shit out of.
I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty. Fucking, I think at one point I might have dropped. I think I dropped like a couple 50 bombs on Rust, which is just it's great. Like I love the everything else kind of sucks. Like the new maps are terrible. It's just the old shit I like. But then also, like, especially recently, like, I haven't played a ton of games because I started the new job and I've just been really busy. But, like, Escape from Tarkov, I know I talked about it a little bit before,
Yep.
but I've been playing some here and there of that game. That game is so fun. Like, it's weird because the game is built around, like, 99% of the time, you die by somebody that you don't even see, you don't even know where they are. It's just like, oh, I got shot and like I got headshotted and died. I don't know where from. It doesn't show you a kill cam. Like that's 99% of the game. But there's like 1% of the game. Like last night I was playing and I got into a match where
You're
like
playing
I was
this on
with two
PC?
random. Yes, I'm playing it on PC. I think it's only on PC right now.
Yeah.
Right.
I got into a match with I was trying to squad up with some friends, and the game kind of glitched out and matched me in with like two randoms. We were playing. I got shot once, so I went prone into a bush, right? And I'm just laying there.
Been
I
there
healed, and
before.
I'm just laying there, kind of like people are shooting around me. I'm waiting for the shit to stop to like come out. My two teammates die, right?
Yeah.
So it's just me left.
What are the teams? How many?
You can have squads up to 5, I think. When I joined, it was me and 2 other people, so it was a squad of 3.
Good math.
So like my teammates die while I'm prone in the bush. One is so close; he's outside of the bush, but he's so close to me that I can loot his body
Oh,
from being prone in the bush.
shit. That's
And
awesome.
he has a grenade on him, so I take the grenade off of him. The squad that has killed him comes over to. I think they think I'm dead because they shot me first, right?
Yeah.
They think I'm dead. There's no like things that say you killed this person or whatever. They
Oh.
just shot me. So
Oh,
I think
that's an
I think-
interesting dynamic.
yeah, they think I'm dead. So they confirm killed the other 2 people in my squad. They come over to loot him. I have the grenade that I just looted off my partner. I fucking drop the grenade.
Wait, can you blow yourself up with a grenade?
You can, yeah, you can kill yourself. But I killed the entire squad, and it was a squad of 4.
Wait, you dropped a grenade and got up and booked?
Yeah, I dropped. They come over to loot the 2 people that they killed. I dropped the grenade, killed them all.
Did you record that?
6. No,
what a fucking loser you are.
This was last night. There's 6 people. Now there's 6 bodies there dead. I'm going through and I'm still prone in this bush. I'm going through and looting the bodies.
Wait,
there's
how are you
guns
still prone? Wait, there's multiple squads, so you just killed this one particular squad?
No, so you can loot your teammates, right? Like, these were completely random people that I joined in with. So it's like 2 of my teammates died. There's 2 people. I killed a squad of 4. So now there's 6 dead bodies that I can loot right next to me, right?
Yeah.
Like, I go prone in the bush.
Yeah.
I start looting them. There's guns that I haven't even seen before. I don't know what to fucking take. I find a gun case which is worth $2 million in the game. It's like super rare to find. Like I get a gun case. So the squad that killed my teammates were like really like looted. Like they were like good players. I kill them, right? Another squad hears the like action, so they roll up. I end up killing 3 of them. So I've killed 7 people.
Mhm.
There's 7 dead bodies, or no, 9 dead bodies next to me because my 2 teammates. There's so much loot. I don't know what to take. I don't know like what to leave. Like I'm trying to figure that out, and I end up dying. Like so, another squad comes up and kills me. But like the amount of fun that I had in that like interaction of like killing those 7 people and like having all of this loot and not knowing what to take and like trying like healing myself, and I only have a pistol. Like I have a fucking pistol and I've killed 7 people.
I'm having fun listening to this and reading Admison's responses. It's just like,
was
no.
so fun. It was ridiculous. That game, like I feel like those interact 99% of the time. Like literally the game before that, I died as I was sprinting and I tried to jump over something and I got headshotted by like a bot that was across the map that just like immediately locked onto my face and shot
bots?
me. Yeah, so the way that Tarkov works is like you spawn in and there's scavs, and the scavs are bots. Like they're bots, they're computer players. And then there's scav bosses, which are like really geared computer players, and then you're also playing against
Wait, so
other
multiple
players.
Squads who technically are against each other could team up to beat these AI bosses?
Yes, if you
Really?
wanted to. But like there's no incentive to like team up with other people.
Well,
like,
to beat it, and then it's like every man for himself after that.
yeah, you could do that.
That
if you
sounds
really
interesting.
wanted
This
know
game, I kind of want to. I mean, I know
It's-
I'll just
like I
get
said,
wrecked with a capital K.
Super, yeah, it's super weird because it's like 99% of the game is you losing, right?
Huh.
Like even more so than like Fortnite or like any of these other, but like 99% of the game is you dying to somebody that you don't see. You don't know how you died. It's just I was walking and all of a sudden my body falls over and it's like you're dead, and it's like how? Like that's 99%. But the other 1% of the game is so much fun that like it makes it worth like I want to keep playing it.
I feel like it's like the Bushido blade of Call of Duty, right? Where it's like more realistic.
Yeah, it's very real. So you have to eat. You have to. It's a shooter. It's a first-person shooter, but you have to eat. You have to drink. You have an energy bar. You have a stamina bar. Like
I don't know if
it's
I'm gonna play
very,
this game, but I
very
think I might
realistic.
start watching more of it on Twitch.
I've been
Yeah, I
watching.
watched-
Like Summit is
Yeah.
a good
Summit.
person to watch. He's a big streamer. Like he's really good at the game.
Yeah. I
He's
used
fun
to watch
to watch.
him with Mike. We would watch
Yeah.
him play CS:GO at work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've been
he's
watching
really
him
fun to
play Tarkov.
It's
like,
it's a
lot
fun
recently.
game. Like there's a
Um,
lot to it. Like I don't even understand a lot. There's like
Pop.
different bullets and
Pop, Edmondson basically called out everything you said as bullshit. I'm just curious.
I mean, he can. I was in call with like other people. Like I'm not lying. Like,
Record that shit next time. That's all
yeah,
I'm saying.
I will.
Does anybody care what I've been playing? What I've been playing.
What have you been playing?
Goody.
What I've been playing. I'm gonna talk about the main thing I've been playing as a main topic, if we even get there. You know. We're not doing too bad. Midnight. What?
Yeah.
I mean, we're
Look, I'm not a fucking
That's not
boomer,
bad.
dude.
We're
I'm
adults.
awake for a while.
We're adults.
If this was Monday, I would still be working for another hour.
I'm in call with them now. They all said it isn't real. They said it's lies. Listen,
Dude.
the main thing that I've been playing was Final Fantasy VII, the remake demo,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna talk about that later as a full topic, because it's more interesting. The past 2 weeks that we haven't been doing this podcast, that was a that was a fart. I just wanted to mute that for you guys. The past 2 weeks I had been playing a lot and streaming a little bit of Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo online, on the Switch,
Yes.
going for 96 exits. So I will be resuming that. This is my shameless plug. I'm gonna finish Super Mario World live on Twitch. Mike, didn't you do that?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
did.
I'm gonna do that too, but all 96 exits, and I'm gonna do the whole Star Road thing.
What are you playing on?
A Switch,
Oh, okay.
but with where the hell is it?
I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like a fucking NES Classic.
What's wrong with the NES Classic, man?
I love the NES Classic. I bought like 4 of them at launch.
I'm playing on this controller, so feel me?
Oh, this guy.
No, but it feels.
On us all.
I am. It feels great. The one game that I want to go into a little bit and talk about right now, what I've been playing, is amazing. It's an amazing accomplishment. It's going to go down in history as a critical influence on gaming in general, and like the future of it, and what people can do with it. And that's Dreams for PS4. Wow. This is really all I can say about that. Think about, do you guys at all mess around with the level editing features of Little Big Planet 1, 2, or 3?
I made some levels in Little Big Planet 3.
Mike,
No, I did not.
have you ever played Little Big Planet?
Very little. Yeah.
But you've played it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Little Big Planet allowed you to create levels that were bound to the rules of Little Big Planet. This fucking game, Dreams, lets you make whatever you can think of. And I still haven't figured out how it does it, because every time I go into a tutorial to let's start the tutorials, it's like, nope, I do not have 12 hours to sit in front of the TV right now, because I know that's what's going to happen. It's insane, the games that people have made already, and that's just in the short amount of time that they released the beta till now.
Right.
I cannot wait to see what happens when you turn that game on 5 years from now, what it's going to be filled with. It's literally, I mean, of course there's going to be tons and tons of shit, but the stuff that gets upvoted, the stuff that's stays at the main screen on the first page. I mean, the game that Media Molecule shipped with that and called, this is our, campaign. It was all made with the same tools that everybody has access to. You can do voice acting, animation. You could make a music video. You could make just something that plays music. You could make Rock Band. You could make a new version of Rock Band where you play the maracas. You know what I mean? Like maraca band.
Holy shit.
You can somebody. I don't know if you saw this. Somebody hooked up like strings and wires and tape and fucking all kinds of apparatus to a PS4 controller that he was wearing on his head, and had like strings hooked up to the shoulder buttons and the analog sticks, and had them like taped to his eyelids and his mouth, and made his own facial motion capture with the DualShock 4 just by hooking like actual mechanical components to his controller and attaching them to his face, and then having that control a model that he made in Dreams on the TV. So live motion capture.
That's crazy.
And then he used that to animate for his game that he was making. I mean, this is fucking unbelievable.
Have you seen the fucking Spider-Man 1-to-1?
No. Somebody made Spider-Man in Dreams?
It's wild. Somebody took
How many puddles they got?
Like the intro scene of Spider-Man where he jumps out of, like, spoilers for Spider-Man. It's not really spoilers. He jumps out of his apartment window, and you go into that like sequence of you swinging, and it tells you like you're learning how to swing and stuff. Somebody 1-for-1 created that in Dreams, and it's like identical. Like you can't tell the difference. Like it's like 1-for-1. Like the whole like him in his apartment putting on the suit, it scanning the apartment, then him doing the backflip out of the window, going right into a swing. Like it's crazy.
I'm putting something on right now. This is, I don't know. But Dreams is, I'm telling you, man, Dreams. Oh, why is there voiceover?
Oh shit.
It's not what I want. I don't.
How you doing, Dan? Here, taking a look.
Oh, it's more. Everybody's got voiceover. I don't know, but I mean,
I was really interested to see what was going to come about of Dreams, because like it came out on what, Valentine's Day?
yeah.
And I haven't really heard like a lot rise to the surface of like, oh my god, check out this amazing thing, and it was made in Dreams. Like normally you get those after a while. You get like the big thing, like this is it. But I feel like I haven't seen anything that's like slap you in the face. You need to play this game.
No, but it's not. It's just there's things that have been made in only like weeks or months.
Mm-hmm.
That it's like somebody who's not a game developer made this in weeks or months, and now it exists, and just the potential. Greg Miller from Kinda Funny is basically playing game director right now. He's just finding people who are good at doing specific things in Dreams and being like, I want you to do this part of my game. He's being a game director with Dreams. He doesn't have to animate shit.
Yep.
But people who want to spend the time and do it, and they got the move controllers and can sculpt in like 3D space.
Yeah.
It's just, all I'm saying, Sony, if you're listening, if anybody from Sony ever ends up seeing this, include Dreams with PS5. It'll be the smartest thing you ever did. If you buy a PS5 and Dreams is on it from day one, that's smart. Or at least if you own it on PS4 and it carries over to PS5, that would be fantastic. Did I tell you I just got hired by Sony? Lies. Lies, that's fake. I just talked to Sony executives. They said that's not real. They called you fired. Wait, what have you guys been talking about this whole fucking time?
Yes.
Oh,
All
the
of
fart? I see. That sounded like a fart. Oh, so,
like
yeah, what else have I been playing?
Dreams.
Oh, yeah, besides Dreams, Super Mario World, and a little bit of Mario Maker 2. Final Fantasy VII Remake, the demo.
Tell me about it.
Why, you haven't played it?
I haven't touched it. I
It's
don't
free.
want to, like... I'm not gonna lie, like, I know you're gonna fucking hate me for this, but, like...
No.
because it got delayed. See, my plan was I was gonna play Final Fantasy VII. It was gonna be all good. It got delayed. I don't care about it because Animal Crossing is coming up before it, and I'm not gonna play it. Like, it can wait. That's how I feel.
Yeah, whatever. Have you played the original Final Fantasy VII?
I haven't.
Then it
and I was
doesn't matter.
really
You're not
excited about the new
no.
one.
Then you're not the target market, man.
But what do you mean I'm not the target market? Like what? Like
It's a nostalgia spike. That's all.
They're killing
it's
it
a
with
nostalgia spike with like, hey, but also we're giving you Final Fantasy 15 graphics and combat. So we're also
The
trying to market
combat
to
is
that.
way-
We're also
Hold on,
trying
so
to
I'm gonna-
combat.
Let me talk about it.
fucking-
Let me tell you about Final Fantasy
Yeah.
VII, the remake. It looks, the graphics are like Final Fantasy 15. That game was in development for 10 years. I would say that this game has probably been in development for longer because you could pick apart pieces, obviously, from the original game on PlayStation. But they did that PS3 tech demo where they did Final Fantasy VII, the intro, like they remade it on PS3, but just like a video. Then they did it again in Crisis Core for PSP, which was more Final Fantasy VII story, but that, had decent graphics on the PSP. So they remade like that intro scene again. Then they reveal it at E3 that they're making a remake of this game, and now we have a playable demo. It's been in development for a long fucking time, and I'm going to tell you right now, with Final Fantasy 15, I didn't play too much of it, but from everything that I've read, you can kind of button mash your way through every fight. It's more fun to just sit there and push square over and over again.
It's just the combat style.
Yeah, it's like Dynasty Warriors or something like this. We just hordes of enemies come and you just
kinda.
I know. Did you play through Final Fantasy 15?
I did. Yes.
Did you beat it?
And I've also played fucking.
Did you beat it?
No, I didn't because it's a terrible game. Like,
I think so too.
Chapter fucking. I don't remember. Chapter
the game started off as called Final Fantasy 13 Versus.
Maybe the worst chapter in video game history. It's fucking terrible.
Yeah,
the train chapter.
That's not like an open world. No, are you kidding me? I played like the first hour of that game and stopped.
The fishing is fantastic. I could fish all day in that game. Outside of that, everything is like the world is very empty. But the combat, from what I understand, is you can do the same. It's the same combat system they used in Final Fantasy 15.
The Buttress coming through with an opinion on Final Fantasy 15. Said the combat 15 was ass and the combat was annoying as fuck. This is my problem with Final Fantasy 15. I called my buddy Ben over to my house because he's a big fan of Final Fantasy 7. And I was like, yo, man, this is the newest Final Fantasy. Come over and we'll stream it. And we started streaming it. And I don't know, that maybe exists somewhere. But the opening part of that game, you're pushing a fucking broken-ass car for like 10 straight minutes. And he's looking at me. He's like, you called me over? You called me to drive 25 minutes to your house to come play this bullshit? It's like, we've been pushing this car for 10 fucking minutes. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, man. I called him over to play The Last Guardian, too. We streamed The Last Guardian together. He's like, what the fuck kind of game is this?
No, dude.
You play the worst games.
The Last Guardian is great.
The best. Yeah, no, I actually wanted to finish that game. No, we had fun with that one. And he and TJ were over when we played Resident Evil 7, and I scared the shit out of myself and smacked my head into the wall. That's a clip that exists on Twitch.
Clipped that.
Oh, you clipped that? Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
You just fucking.
That's a good one. But no, let me tell you about the Final Fantasy VII remake demo. Like, it hits every nostalgia button for sure. It looks great. It plays great. You're walking along. Like, here's the thing. You're walking along, and I remember everything that I remember from the first game. All the interactions, all the little dialogue things that they're throwing at you. It's just, like, hitting the nostalgia button, like, beat after beat after beat. It's just, like, So the combat is fantastic. And the first couple of interactions with the Shinra soldiers, this is not spoilers. Everybody's known this about the intro for Final Fantasy VII for years now.
Yeah.
You can mash the square button and defeat all those enemies, no problem. But when you start fighting like some more intense bosses and heavier enemies, don't think you're just gonna hit square and beat them. You'll die. And there's this Mike, you look like you're fading, man.
No, I'm here. I'm just
All right, I'm just checking on you.
from what I watched of you playing this game is like
Yeah.
I really don't like the way that the combat is set up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I feel like it would lead me to attempting to button mash my way through every fight and forget about all the like mid battle menuing and stuff.
So let me get through it. This is what I'm saying. Like you have to kind of, when the thing pops up and says, here's what you should do in this situation. Like, I'm the motherfucker who always skips through everything. But if you read what it's telling you, and you see, like, the control. So here's the controls in a nutshell. You're running along, and it feels like an action hack and slash game. Because you want to be able to, like, jump over stuff. But this is where people need to. This is what they're drawing from the original game. The traversal and the getting through levels. Staff is here. I'm out. Admison says. That's funny. With that little wrench icon. That's so cool. So yeah, the traversal and getting around where you're going is very reminiscent of the old game. Just get from point A to point B. Like, even look, I noticed that, like, exploring and like, there's some treasure chests and some boxes where you can pick up some potions and this and that, some materia, whatever. But like, you don't get rewarded really for exploring. You're just trying to get to your next objective. And I think the people who explore will find like the extra potions here and there. But you're not missing out on much. You're not going to find like a secret area or something. Like, the game is very linear, and that's good because they're telling a story. And that's Final Fantasy VII, and I think most Final Fantasy games, or most RPGs, really, when you think about it, are telling a very linear story and giving you the illusion that you're doing it the way that you want to.
Right.
But in reality, it's kind of like macro variables, if anybody knows what that is. You're not going to get this option until this trigger over here has been flipped. You know what I mean? Like, this switch needs to be at the on position for this thing to even become activated. So you want to explore and collect and build up your character and raise your hit points and raise your MP. Like, I think you're still going to be able to do that in this game. And, you know, I hear people saying so much like, oh, they're going to release it episodically, and that's going to be a bad thing because...
See, I have like mixed feelings, because it's like, for somebody who's never played it before, that's like interested, like, I've always heard how great Final Fantasy VII is.
It is.
It's like, a part of me is like, I want to play, I want to like be like super invested into it. I want to go into it.
Mm-hmm.
But then to know that like, oh, I'm only getting like a small portion of the story is like,
this is why
kind of a turnoff a little bit. Like,
this is why in my stream earlier, I had the guidebook out, okay? Because I'm just gonna, without spoiling anything, right here. They say that the opening part of Final Fantasy VII Remake is gonna take place in Midgar. And it's going to go up to the point where you leave Midgar. They've said that. That's the opening part of Final Fantasy VII. Here's the chase. Here's the boss. Yep, and then I'm guessing that they're going to go, like, it's going to be this flashback scenario, maybe. So even if it was, here, son of a bitch.
this guy can't fucking handle a book, dude.
A book? What's a
Can't
book?
handle this book.
Last time.
No, but this is all gameplay right here, okay? Yeah, sewers. Yeah, here it is, right here. It doesn't matter. It's this much. Okay, do you see? You see how much I'm holding up? And do you see how much is left?
Yeah.
But see,
This
like, that's what
about
scares
one
me.
third of the book. So over
It's like-
here, no, hold on, because over here, here's the end of the game. Right, the end of the game is, yeah, right here. So all this part of the book. So here's the first part. You see what I'm saying? Here's
Right.
the rest of the game.
So we have at least 2 more games.
And this is all like side quests, the bestiary, like all the items, what all that shit does, like fighting, like kind of techniques and this and that, everybody's weapons, all the. So this part of this is the official guidebook of Final Fantasy, and I'm saying that this is 1/3 of the game, and this is 2/3 of the game. And the original game came on 3 discs, so I think they're going to release 3 episodes of this game, and
That would make
that's
sense.
my prediction.
See, like, that's my thing, though, is, like, how long is it going to take them to release 3 episodes of the game? Am I going to have to wait?
Including this first one, like starting from April
Yes,
10th.
this one, because
So
think
after
about it.
April 10th, 2020, I think we're going to get the final disc of this game in 2030.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. Like,
That's what I
they
think.
announced this game They showed the trailer for this game in 2015.
Yes.
And I'm getting it 5 years later.
Yeah.
In 2020.
And they've probably
Like,
been working on it for 15 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like.
But it was being
like,
worked on
that's
outside of the company, and they took it in-house.
I feel like that's what, like, a little bit, like, just a little bit turns me off on this game is, like, I don't want to wait fucking 20 years to find out, like, everybody talks about, like, Final Fantasy VII and how good it is. Like, people hold.
Oh, what the fuck happened?
I knocked something over. I don't know what it was. But everybody holds Final Fantasy VII, like, in high regard. It seems like. I've never played it, so I don't
Right.
know. But everybody says it's like, oh, it's the best. It's
That's
so great.
subjective.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is, like, everybody talks about Final Fantasy. Like, I never hear people talking about, like, Final Fantasy 6 or, like, 1 or
A
whatever
lot of
the fuck
people
it
say
was.
that Final Fantasy VI is the best one ever.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I like, there's the overwhelming, like,
I'm one of
thing
those
is
people. Final
Final
Fantasy VII
Fantasy
hit me
VII
hard.
is
in
like
feels.
the thing, and it's like I don't want to have to wait like 10 years to find out like if I like it or not. Like, I don't know.
But Pop, in all fairness, you are, you know, I'm the oldest one here, right? So it makes kind of sense that I'm into the retro games that I'm into. But you, even though you're a bit younger, share that same sort of interest in those retro games. Like, you might benefit just from staying away from that for a little while, and at your
That's what I'm
own
saying,
at
like-
your own pace, download it on your Switch and just see if you can get through it there,
Dude.
the original one.
That's why, like, the people said the demo came out, and I was like, I honestly have like no interest in it because it's like I don't know
The
that
demo's
I wanna,
fun.
Like,
So, oh yeah,
I
this
don't
is
know
what.
that I. But it's fun to you because you already know what happens and everything. It's
Yeah,
like, I don't know that I want to know yet. Like, I don't know
Yeah,
that I
no,
want to jump
that's true.
into it.
Here's the thing: there was a demo for Final Fantasy VII, because that game, the original game, was hyped up big time before it came out. Like, the only reason that my Final Fantasy VII story is so cool, the only reason I even know about it is because my dad was like, "Oh, we got to go to the toy store," and I'm like, "What? We're doing what today?" And he took me to the toy store, Toy Works it was.
I
And
gotta pee again.
yeah, me too. And
Me too. It's real bad for
yeah,
me.
no, so we go to the toy store. I'm like, I don't know, 12 years old maybe at that time, 1997. I was in 7th grade or going into 7th grade. Yeah, I was probably 12, 13, something like that. And he's like, yeah, this new game's coming out and we have to get it. I'm like, okay. And it's Final Fantasy VII. And I had no clue what it was. I did kind of know what it was. My uncle played Final Fantasy 2, American 2, so Japanese 4, a lot on the Super Nintendo, and I liked that. I liked watching him play that game. But I was little, and I was like, there's a lot of reading in this game. I don't know what the fuck's going on here. Final Fantasy VII, I actually played, and the graphics were just like blowing my fucking mind at that time. Like, holy shit!
Dude,
so
Final
glad.
Fantasy VII came out when I was like 3.
Okay. Thanks for telling everybody how old I am.
Yeah,
I'll be 35.
fucking
I'll be 35
boomers
this year.
over
You
here.
can tell it's right here.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. Like, you can
Yeah,
see-
no, your shit is
There's
thin.
like-
Your
there's
shit
like-
is thinning out.
Dude, there's
Hard
like
body.
2 or 3 gray hairs
Oh,
like right here. Dude.
You're gonna
It's
get a new one
wild.
every day now.
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's normal. I'm embracing that. I'm happy about that. That looks cool. So back to this fucking demo, man. You might be right about not wanting to experience it now, not having played the original game, but you honestly, it wouldn't take
just
anything
in
away
no
from your
rush.
experience.
I'm
Just saying you would
I don't-
understand if it was the type of game for you, because what Mike was saying about the combat, that just from based off how it looks, I could see how it might be daunting, but the simplicity of the controls is what makes it work, because square is your attack. That's it. That's how
Yeah.
you attack, is square, right? When you're fighting by yourself, you only have one person in your party, Cloud, that you hit square, you attack. He has, which everybody apparently has, an alternative or a special kind of move with triangle. So like in the instance of a different character, Barrett, the dude with the gun arm, if you hit
I'm
triangle,
sorry. I gotta pee.
Go ahead. I'm
I
not
apologize.
even talking to you. I'm talking to the audience.
No.
I'm talking to
I
the
love
one
you.
guy in
I'm
his
sorry.
car going to work. So Mike, the Barrett, if you hit triangle, his gun arm will fire a more like percussive blast. Whereas Cloud, if you hit triangle, that changes his stance, right? So triangle is specific to the character, right? Triangle will do something different for each specific character. So in the case of Cloud, you hit triangle, and now his stance changes to a more stronger attack, but he moves slower. Okay, so you move around the fight slow, but it's all real time. The fighting is real time, except for when they bring it back to how the game actually was with the menu system. So if I hit X, that's how I activate the menu system, and now time slows down.
Right.
So the fight is still actively happening, right? But time's going so slow that you have a perfectly adequate amount of time to decide which menus you want to go through, and that's special abilities, magic, items, and summons, which I don't have summons yet, but that was always the fourth option in Final Fantasy games.
Right.
So once you realize that you can't just button mash your way through a fight, then you have to start thinking. Like, you have to start paying attention to the gauge. My hit points, where are they? Do I have enough to like do a few offensive moves, maybe some spells, or just attack with square, or switch to triangle, do the heavy attacks? You hit left and right on the D-pad to cycle between characters on the fly in the match. So if there's a ranged character and you want to use Barrett with his gun arm, then you would just hit left and start taking control of him. At any given time, while you're controlling a specific character, you can hit L2, I believe, or R2, and then bring up a menu to just issue a command to your supporting character. So right, you can scroll through them, and it does this whole slow down time thing. So basically, anytime you're in a menu during a battle, time is slowed down.
Right.
So it doesn't hinder you from actually fighting, and it gives you a chance to learn your enemy's patterns and then fight accordingly. It's like everybody was wondering, like, how are they going to do this? How are they going to make this turn-based RPG that was so revered into an action game? And like, they're doing it. Like, if right now it could be campy and corny and too short or too long or too like drawn out or not fleshed out enough, and if every battle felt as cool as the battles feel, it's already a successful game based on the battle system, I think. Not everybody's going to like it. But now they're telling this compelling story alongside of it, which Final Fantasy VII so revered for, right? And like all the corny shit that the game said in 1997 is still present, but grounded in a way where like you kind of believe it, you know, like there's this one scene where Barrett's like, the planet's dying, the planet bleeds green, like we bleed red, right? And it's super corny the way he says it, and then Cloud's just like, and you believe that, huh? And he just gets all pissed off at him, and it's like, I don't know, there's something like, I don't want to say magical, right? There's just something working. There's something like
Right.
that
It's doing it
happened.
for you.
There's something that happened while they were translating the dialogue that didn't happen during the first game. You know, that was why the dialogue sounded so ridiculous.
So stiff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was also in that camp that was wondering how they were going to take this turn-based thing and turn it into an action game. And honestly, for me, it's just like kind of off-putting the way that everything has to slow down and pause every time you go into a menu. But it sounds like you're going to be in and out of menus quite a bit throughout the whole series of the thing. You have to attack and go through menus to use one, and then switch over to a new character and go through a menu with them, and etc. etc. Just feel like it could have easily stayed a turn-based game with new graphics and been just as fun still.
But from what I mean, I don't know. I haven't played the demo, but from what I understand is like the slowdown mechanic, like essentially makes it to the point, like you can slow it down so much to the point where it's almost like turn-based.
Right. Which,
Or
I mean,
you can
at that
speed it
point,
up to where it's like Final Fantasy 15, where it's like, you know, more
hack and slash and
yeah, like real-time combat.
right. I mean, I guess it's cool if you have like the ability to choose back and forth whichever one you want, but I don't know, just what I watched of Mark playing the demo, I wasn't like super thrilled with the idea of this
Yeah.
slow combat to go through a bunch of menus. Like,
See, just
that's-
to some extent, I've tried to stay like I don't feel like I need a demo of this game. Like I don't want to like watch people play, especially because I've never played it before. Like I kind of want to go into it not knowing anything, you know.
yeah,
But like that's the thing that sucks is like, what I was saying is like I want to have that because people talk so highly about it. I want to have that experience of like I want to feel what like everybody else says they felt when they first played it.
right.
But I'm only gonna get the first like 1/3 of it, and then I might have to wait like 5 years to get the second half.
Right. And
You know,
that's that's my other problem that I have with this thing. It's like so many of Nintendo, it's the naming convention, because it's just called Final Fantasy VII Remake,
Yeah.
not Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1 or anything like that. So to the mainstream media people that aren't super into video games that were like, oh, Final Fantasy VII? Yeah, I remember that from when I was a kid. Let me buy this. And then to get a third of a game, like a lot of people aren't going to know that this thing's coming out in bits and pieces that end up buying it. And then they're going to be mad that they only got one piece of it. I would be.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm like not in a rush to play it. Like I feel like this is one of those games that like can wait. I don't know.
Right.
What do you got? What?
It can wait.
I was just saying because it's like episodic and I'm not gonna get the full story. This is one of those games that like I feel like I have no problem with like waiting to play it. Like, as much as like I it really, when I think about it, like it's Animal Crossing until Last of Us comes out. Like that's like I'm like being serious. Like that's my thing. Is like no game interests me more than Animal Crossing until Last of Us comes out, and then it's like Last of Us comes out and I'll play through that, and then there's enough time where like I feel like by the time I've kind of taken that in, Ghost of Tsushima will come out and I'll play that, but like, and then maybe like I'll get to Final Fantasy VII. There's like no rush for me to like. I don't need to play it day one. Especially because I'm not getting the full thing. I'm only getting part of it. It's like I don't.
I just wish that you had in like the past 4 months or something like played through the original.
But see, like it's like weird because it's like I almost feel like I don't want to play through the original because, like, I guess here's how I'm thinking of it is like, if I had the like if I had never played, Shadow of the Colossus,
Mm-hmm.
and then Shadow of the Colossus remake was coming out,
Yeah.
I don't know that I would have gone back 2 months before Shadow of the Colossus remake comes out to play the original. I think I would have just waited to play the remaster.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I feel on this one. Is like, I feel like I don't want to play the old one, like the original, because this new remake is coming out. But also, like, I don't feel the need to play the remake right when it comes out because it's only part of the story.
Wow, that's a real profound point of view that you have there.
Yeah, dude.
I'm just kidding.
They fucking
I
call
feel like
me...
I feel like this topic went awry a little bit.
Yeah.
And we moved one of these topics up. Can we, the Animal Crossing one? Can we talk about the PS2 just for a minute because the PS2 is 20 years old. I mean, this topic could last for the rest of the night, but I want to let Mike take the reins here because you look like you're about to fucking fall asleep.
Damn.
No, I'm still here.
Hey, go, man.
Whatever you do.
I know the PS2 is important to everybody here. I think that extends to everybody in the chat and anybody who might not be in the chat. PS2 was America's... No, it was the world's DVD player. Is what it was.
My first DVD player.
It was my fucking first. I didn't even know what a DVD player was till that.
Yep.
Yeah. I remember getting the PlayStation 2 controller taken away from me because I'd fuck up and like halfway through the movie for like family night. Like I'd accidentally fast forward because I had the controller in my hand.
Yeah, that's always been a bitch. Like my girl, she really likes The Nanny, the show The Nanny. You can't fucking get The Nanny anywhere. I like the show too, by the way.
It's a good
cool
show.
90s sitcom. You can't get that anywhere online. Go ahead, you go online and try and fucking show me where you can get The Nanny. I looked. Believe me, motherfuckers. I looked. Not sorry to call everybody motherfuckers, but you can't find it. So I had to buy the DVDs. And I never used my PS4 for a DVD player, but it does it. And it still fucking fast forwards when you don't want it to. You put the controller down on the couch and the R2 button just touches the slightest bit. You start fast forwarding through the disc. It's like, you guys, you were this close. You almost had it.
Right there.
King of Ramen chimes in the chat, says PS2 best console ever. So yeah, back to the PS2. Anybody? Mike?
So,
Pop?
yeah, fucking grand slams on that. We had a ton of great games come for PS2.
I thought you were going to say Grand Theft Auto, but all three of those.
I mean, Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, San Andreas, and then later and Vice City Stories all came to the PS2 before the PS2 was done with.
Yeah, dude.
I
That
mean,
is...
Metal Gear Solid 2
And 3.
like
And
sold
3,
my
dude.
PS2. Like I played that game at a kiosk in a GameStop and was like, I have to have a PlayStation 2.
Well,
Like that
Sons
was
of
it.
Liberty you're talking about.
Yeah.
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 Oh, yeah.
Yep. So like
DeReal, it's funny that you should say that the PS2 is the best console ever because according to sales, it is the best console ever with over 155 million units sold because it was a DVD player. Let's be real.
Yeah.
And it's like it's bullshit too that they count the fucking DS in there because it's like
Well,
it's like all
there's two
it's like,
lists.
dude, the
Everybody
DS,
knows that
the
there's two lists.
DSi, the fucking it's
Well-
too many.
well,
the PlayStation 2
we're
by
talking.
far, the best-selling console.
Let's talk about-
singular console.
I've been here, by the way, just high as fuck. Join the club, King of ramen noodles. Listen, man, there's two lists as far as I'm concerned. Like, you can count if you want to talk about the whole list, including home consoles and portable consoles. That's a fine discussion to have, and I'll have it with whoever wants to have it. But when you're talking about home consoles that you hook up to your TV, it goes PS2, PS4, the original PlayStation, then the Wii, then the PS3, then the 360, then the NES. So the Wii and the NES are the ones that get the bragging rights for Nintendo. The handheld consoles, that's a different market as far as I'm concerned. And
But also,
PlayStation Portable, PSP, not too shabby with 82 million units sold. You know?
like completely different topic. But I'd like to say that
But
sales don't
represent,
quality of
course,
said product, because I feel like I can make an argument for why the GameCube is like one of the best consoles. Like
the GameCube
library-wise?
the GameCube was technologically superior to the PS2 and the
Yeah.
Xbox.
like library, the GameCube has like I feel like such a fucking fantastic like it's like the sales are terrible. But
The
like,
Wii U
library
discs have
is
rounded
so
edges,
good.
bro.
It doesn't, it doesn't make sense.
No, GameCube, great console, but
But the
sales
PlayStation 2
way down
is
there.
fantastic. It reached
Were
outside of gaming.
were there better DVD players? Yes.
No,
Yes.
well,
there were DVD players of
for the
much-
value, no.
hold
I
on.
feel like
There were DVD players of much higher quality available. You were paying $500 or $600 at the time for those DVD players.
Yeah.
The PS2 was $300, and it was a DVD player, and it played PS2
And-
games.
exactly, which is why I said like for value wise, I feel
Oh.
like the PlayStation 2 was like by far
I mean,
like
what does it
it's
say?
like-
What does it say on the box? Look at this list of fucking shit that it says right here, and this is actually belongs to you. So if you want to give me where I can ship this fucking
Yeah.
thing. But it says DVD-ROM, DVD video, digital out, Dolby Digital surround sound, compact disc. I don't even know what that one is. This is USB symbol, and this is a
dude, I
network,
used to
like a
listen to
local
fucking,
network symbol.
like CDs that I would like rip music to. I would listen to on my PlayStation 2.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude.
That's what it was. So
Yeah,
155
played
million units. Who cares why? It's the king. This is the king.
And that doesn't even count the stuff like that. Like years and years later, we bought it again.
Oh, yeah.
When
I'm
somebody
telling
was
you, I'm saying
still
it
out
again.
there with money seeking out a PlayStation 2.
I'm saying it again. Reopen it. Release the PlayStation 2 Classic Edition. Sony, listen to me. I'm going to make you a bunch of money right now. Release the PlayStation 2 Classic Edition, but it's just a PlayStation 2 Slim. Again. Except it's got a bigger hard drive. It's an MP3 player. It's a fucking DVD player. Put a Blu-ray player in there too. Call it the PS2 2. Fuck it.
Whoa.
I'm telling you, man. I would buy that. Sell it for $100. I would go fucking buy it right now. If they came out with multiple colors and with matching controllers, best believe that I would be buying all those too. Sony, listen to me for once in your life.
Up and take my money.
Is this not a good idea? I mean, just think about what all the classic consoles are. They're emulation machines.
Yeah.
Well,
It's probably
hopefully-
cheaper to make the PS2 again. They've already done it once before. Just just make those components again.
Right. I mean, it's definitely going to be cheaper to make a PS2 now.
Yeah.
Just throw a Blu-ray player in there from old PS3 stock.
Hopefully the dream is, right, that like the PlayStation 5 does, right? Like the PlayStation 5 is a PlayStation 1, a PlayStation 2, a PlayStation 3, a PlayStation 4, and
Well, technically, a PlayStation
PlayStation
2 is a PlayStation 1, and a PlayStation 3 is a PlayStation 1.
exactly. And a PlayStation 4 is already confirmed to be PlayStation 5, which is why like the dream is that they're just together. Like I feel like that makes more sense than releasing a PlayStation 2 mini or whatever. It's just like, hey, here's the PlayStation 5, it plays everything. Like
True that.
that would be the fucking dream.
True that.
That would make my PlayStation 3 collection worth having. Physically.
Yeah, that's true. Hey man, but what else can be said about the PlayStation 2 that hasn't been said already?
I feel like
Shadow of the Colossus.
Shadow of the Colossus is great.
Eco.
I feel like the PlayStation 2 and this like maybe a little bit segues into another topic that we have. I feel like the PlayStation 2 is like the console for like you can look at like I feel like there's like
Jak and Daxter.
at least for me there's different generations that I look at like the NES and the SNES are in like one generation of like fucking like 2D like games, right? And then like you get like the Nintendo 64 and the PlayStation 1 that are like
Sega Saturn.
early like 3D games, right? But I
Low
feel like the
poly.
PlayStation 2 is the like stepping stone for games that we have now,
Into the modern
where it's
era.
like a lot of PlayStation 2 games were like ahead of their time as far as like ideas and concepts and like gameplay mechanics and stuff where it's like maybe it didn't work. Maybe Shadow of the Colossus ran at fucking 10 frames a second. But like, hey, the remake, the modern day version of the idea that Shadow Colossus was is fantastic, right? Like, and I feel like that's a lot of like Grand Theft Auto 5 is a better version of the Grand Theft Autos that came out on PlayStation 2, right? Like
I've always
PlayStation 2
maintained
is
that. That's my stance.
yeah, PlayStation
Mike will
2
tell you that
is
Grand Theft Auto 3 is the best.
Best one, hands down.
yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'd say the best one, but like
No, best
it
one.
definitely planted the ideas for the rest of the series going forward
Because
to
it
a
was the
point
best
where
one.
like I feel like but you can't swim, and it's like I feel like you can't say it's the best one because you can't swim. It's like it takes away
Does nobody care
90% of the game.
that technically Grand Theft Auto 5 is Grand Theft Auto 7? Nobody acknowledges that, right? Grand Theft Auto
Grand Theft Auto
3
5 is the best one. Like,
yeah,
I
but
don't
Grand
know.
Theft Auto 3,
It's like Grand Theft Auto 5
Grand
is
Theft
Grand
Auto
Theft Auto
Vice City was number 4, and San Andreas was number 5, and number 4 was number 6. So number 5 has to be number 7.
But does that mean that we're not counting the stories games?
No, because
Liberty
those were in the
City and-
same engines as other games.
Yeah, but it's the same engine for Vice City and San Andreas.
No,
For 3?
I mean, 3 and Vice City might have shared the same engine, but I feel like San Andreas upped the ante. I don't
San
know that you could
Andreas was
do
definitely the same engine
in
as
Vice
3
City
and
what they
Vice
did
City.
in San Andreas.
It's just San
Just-
Andreas had like I feel like the only difference between San Andreas and 3 and Vice
Listen,
City
Don't come in here and
is
tell me
that
to shut
San
up.
Andreas had
Do what I want.
like quality voice acting for more than like 2 characters, where like Vice City and Grand Theft Auto 3 only had voice acting for like quality voice acting for the main characters, and that was it. Where like San Andreas, like the voice acting is like phenomenal across the board, but everything else is pretty similar. Like the mechanics of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas are the same as the mechanics of Grand Theft Auto 3. Like, there's not
Not
much
the
difference.
same. They're
Yeah.
similar.
They're very, very to the point where it's like It's definitely the same engine. Like, it's definitely the same.
No, because by the time you got to San Andreas, were you still holding L2
still
and
couldn't
R2 to fucking look out the sides of the car?
That was the same.
No,
Yeah,
I feel
I
like
don't
you
know.
could aim out of the car in San Andreas, couldn't you?
No.
Why are
You could
kid-
aim off the front of a motorcycle. That was the
Yeah.
difference. Which you could do from Vice City. But you still had
No,
to use
you
the
could-
two shoulders to aim out the sides.
You definitely couldn't aim
Oh.
while driving in San Andreas.
Okay.
I don't think you could free aim while driving to 5, could you?
No, 4 you could.
You
Yeah.
could free aim while driving
I
in
think
4?
so.
5 is definitely the best one. I hate to say
Yeah,
this.
no, it
definitely
is. It is.
Definitely 3.
It just
But
improves
Mike,
on everything.
Mike, you
from all the
you
other
played
games.
5 exclusively on PC with mouse and keyboard?
No, I also played it on 360.
Oh. You like that game with mouse and keyboard?
It's a tough split. I like mouse and keyboard because they gave me the first person option,
Yeah.
which means that I can now look at all my guns and look down sights, which makes it like as a first person shooter way better to play with mouse and keyboard. But driving is still difficult. Driving is
fact
definitely
that we-
way easier with a controller.
Even talk about Grand Theft Auto 5 still just shows how great it is.
Yeah.
So great.
I feel like that could be the ultimate game setup if you played on PC, mouse and keyboard with a steering wheel.
Is that
with
possible,
Wheel and pedals. I don't know.
I've always
I'd-
wanted to do that.
I'd love to try.
I wanted to do that in San
That's the thing.
Andreas days.
Honestly, Grand
Vice
Theft Auto
City, even.
4, I feel like, is a better game than Grand Theft Auto 5, except like the driving is so bad in Grand
Yeah.
Theft Auto 4 compared to Grand Theft Auto 5 that like you can't pick it over.
The
Like
story's
the
fantastic,
driving
though.
itself,
It is.
yes, the story is so much better in Grand Theft Auto 4, but the driving is so much better in Grand Theft Auto 5 that it's like impossible for me to say Grand Theft Auto 4 is a better game.
Oh, gunplay is better, fighting is better.
Like but just the driving in Grand Theft Auto 5 makes it a better game than Grand Theft Auto 4.
I mean,
Hmm.
as a kid growing up, when my 3 most played games were Grand Theft Auto series,
Yeah.
Tony Hawk
San-
series, and Gran Turismo series. That's like what I played the most growing up.
So I feel like I'm the same except swap out Gran Turismo for Need for Speed.
Okay,
Like-
but if you could have made a game that incorporated all those things, like I was like, why can't there
Dude.
be a game that's like Tony Hawk and Matt Hoffman and snowboarding and rollerblade? Like they had that game 2 Extreme and 3 Extreme on the original PlayStation. Remember those games? No?
No.
So they were like games based off of the X games. So it was rollerblading, skateboarding, biking, but it played like Road Rash. That was the gameplay style. I always wanted a game that was like Tony Hawk, but you could ride a bike or like do snowboarding or do rollerblading or all that shit.
Yeah. Dude, if you could do everything. There was that game that was like ATV versus
MX.
MX or whatever, where it was
MX
like
versus
monster
ATV.
trucks, 4-wheelers, dirt bikes, like
Trucks,
all
the
that
Baja
shit, like,
trucks. Yeah.
if you could take that and then combo it with like skateboarding, bicycles, like race car, dude, that would be wild.
Yeah. That'd be great.
Yeah.
PS2 though, let's wrap it up with the PS2. I mean, just rattle off some games. I'm thinking Need for Speed Underground 1 and 2.
Need for Speed Underground 1 and 2, but my favorite, I know I'm fucking younger than you guys, Most Wanted to me is the best.
Oh, that was a
Need for
good
Speed.
one. That was a great
Yeah.
one. Jack and Daxter
Also,
1, 2,
Tony-
and 3.
Yeah, Tony Hawk, like Underground 1 and 2,
Best
fantastic
games ever.
to me, like so
God of
good.
War.
Guitar Hero.
God of War, you Shadow Colossus Eco, right? You
Devil
have
May Cry
fucking-
1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Early Rockstar games, Bully, fucking the Grand Theft Autos, the Warriors,
The
like
Warriors,
all
yep.
fucking Max Payne,
Oh,
like all of
yeah,
those
yeah,
games.
yeah.
So good.
See what do we have? SSX,
SSX, yeah, SSX,
SOCOM.
SOCOM,
fucking
yeah.
SOCOM.
There was good Call of Duties on there too.
Yeah, Call of Duty
World
2,
at War,
like,
right? Was the
fucking NBA Street, dude,
Oh my
NFL
God,
Street,
dude!
like
You
those
just said
games.
NBA Street.
Yeah, that goes into like
Yo.
into a topic that I hope we're gonna go into soon here. Like, it's just like, yeah, like the PlayStation 2, I feel like is the most out of all of, like, the PlayStation 2 era is the most ambitious era of video games I feel like we've gotten, where it's like we got past the early stages of like figuring out 3D graphics and how all of that works, and like once we got past that, I feel like the PlayStation 2 gave us like games and ideas that like were way ahead of its time. And that's why there's so many iconic games from that era, where I feel like, you know, specifically with Grand Theft Auto, we talked about, right? Like Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, San Andreas,
Got the
whatever
hiccups,
one
bud?
you, yeah, whatever one you pick out of the Grand Theft Autos that came out on the PlayStation 2. Like, there's not a ton of difference between that Grand Theft Auto and Grand Theft Auto 5, right? Like the most recent one. There's not a ton of difference between Call of Duty or whatever franchise you want to pick, Hitman, like whatever, it doesn't matter. You can pick one. There's not a ton of difference between the PlayStation 2 version and the one now. I feel like the main difference is the fact that like the PlayStation 2 was limited to like the power of
Are we
the
still
console.
talking about NBA Street?
The graphics. Yeah, exactly. NBA Street, like there's a reason why like there's such a high demand. Like there's a reason why NBA 2K added a basically street version of the game to their current
Yeah.
game. Right? Like it's
Ooh, but
like
those dunks, yo. Oh shit, you
those
watching
games
that
were
shit?
such ahead of their time that I feel like they were just limited by the console that they were on. And like I don't know, I feel like that's like, to me at least, for my age of person, like, you know, mid-20s, like the PlayStation 2 is like the golden age of
Yo.
games.
In this video that we're looking at, are they playing with Shaq and Kobe? Sure looks like it.
Yeah, dude, Shaq and Kobe.
Dope.
And like I don't, like, I'm not trying to fucking take over here, but like I feel like this is a perfect segue into one of the topics that I threw on here,
This is your show too, man. I don't know what
which
you're
is
talking
like
about.
the video game remakes.
Oh shit.
Which like I don't know if you guys like read the link or not, but it was just talking about the difference between like why like video game remakes are so accepted in the community. Like Resident Evil, like for example, the most recent one that I can think of is like Resident Evil 3 remake comes out like next month, or Final Fantasy 7 remake comes out, right? Those games are like widely accepted, but then like a movie, for example, like, oh, we're gonna remake Terminator,
People
or we're
hate
gonna
that.
remake.
Yeah.
People hate it, right? And there's this weird difference between like
I
whenever
think in
games
the
get
most-
remade,
The
it's
most,
like acceptable
Yeah,
to
the
where
most-
movies aren't.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the most interesting part about that article was where they said how the one thing that's associated with games that you don't really have with movies or any other medium, for example, is the muscle memory that's attributed. Like, oh, the original God of War, right? I remember what it felt like to play that game. And if they could just recreate that feeling, and they did that with the new God of War, like a totally new game, new camera, new quests, new story, new characters, everything. But this, when you got those blades, man, it just felt like
Felt the
God
same.
of War.
It felt familiar.
Yeah. So that's how they fuck up video game remakes, when they change them so drastically that. But very rarely do they, because look at, they take Crash Bandicoot, the game on PlayStation, they fucking remake the entire game, but they leave the clunky PS1 controls. Right? And everybody's like, wow, this game's hard. Like, yeah, no shit, the game was hard. You know? It's just now it's hard and pretty.
Yeah.
I feel like the perfect example for this, and this is why I kind of threw this as a topic in here, is Shadow of Colossus, right? Like, Shadow of Colossus, and this is what I was saying, is
The
like
shot-for-shot remake.
I compare it to, I feel like the PlayStation 2 era of games were like really ambitious, but they were limited to the console that they were on. Where it's like Shadow of the Colossus, when you look at it as a game, right, was extremely ambitious for a PlayStation 2 game. It's like, here's this open world, like you're fighting these huge fucking like
Colossi.
They don't even fit on the screen because they're so big enemies.
They are the
right?
level.
Like, but and it was great at the time, but the problem was it ran at 15 frames a second, but it would drop to 8 frames a second because the PlayStation 2 just couldn't handle it. Where it's like, okay, let's just take that idea and transfer it to a PlayStation 4 where we can run it at 60 frames a second. Like, that's enough for, like, to justify the remake. And I feel like a lot of, like, PlayStation 2 and, like for me, at least, I know I'm, like, a little bit younger than you guys, but, like, for me, like, dude, the only thing I would love a fucking remaster of, or a remake of Dead Space, or Mass Effect, or like all these recent more recent games, because I feel like the PlayStation 2 and up, the Nintendo 64 and up, like justify remakes more so than like, you know, like I don't need, like I feel like we've seen, especially with like using Nintendo as an example, like I've seen the best that like a 2D Mario game can give me. Like I don't, like Mario Maker can't give me a better, like Nintendo couldn't make a better product of a 2D Mario. Like I'm not going to be surprised by a new 2D Mario game after seeing what people have created in Mario Maker, right? Like that, I've seen the best of 2D Mario games. But you can't tell me that if somebody remade a Mario 64 game but with a better camera, that wouldn't be a better game, right? Like it's like I feel like there's a huge gap there between like once you get past the like 2D era of games, there's like this huge desire for like those games could be remade way better now. And I feel like that's why we're so more accepting of it. We're so like the majority of people are okay with a Resident Evil 2 remake, a Resident Evil 3 remake, a Final Fantasy 7 remake, fucking whatever, you know, like a Last Guardian remake, than they are of like a Terminator remake or a Jurassic Park remake, because like the difference is that those games are like are justified because they were limited to the hardware that they were on, where I feel like all you have to do is give me a better you know, what did I say? What's the game that I just used as an example? Last Guardian?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Whatever the fuck it's Shadow of the Colossus. Sorry, Last Guardian's the new one.
Yeah.
Shadow of the Colossus. Like, all you have to do is give me the same exact game, but with better frames, and it's worth it for a remake. Right? Like, you don't have to do anything else. It's just like, hey, this game runs at 30 frames consistently.
But, wait, so you're saying you'd prefer
10...
that they didn't remake it from the ground up?
No, like, I mean, like, they can do it however they want, right? Like, I feel like,
it's very generous of you.
they don't have to change anything, right? Like,
Yeah.
For example,
Like Final
Shadow
Fantasy
of the
is changing a lot of shit.
Shadow of the Colossus is a 1-to-1 remake, right?
Yes.
Like you play Shadow of the Colossus on PS2 and you play the one on PS4, and it's exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
There's one, like the forest, there's one like Easter egg of like, oh hey, here's a Easter egg to the game that I just fucking said that I
Last
can't
Guardian.
remember now. Last Guardian. Here's an Easter egg to the Last Guardian that wasn't in the original, but that's pretty much the only difference.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty much 1-to-1. Crash Bandicoot 1-to-1 remake. It's just the graphics, everything is better.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas like
Yeah.
I don't like. But for example, Resident Evil 2, right? Like Resident Evil 2 remake changes a little bit of the story. They change where enemies pop in and out. They change how enemies react. Where it's like, I don't like, for most of the like Nintendo 64, PlayStation 2 era games, I don't even need that. It's just the better frames, better graphics, 1-to-1 remake is justifiable for me to spend another $60 on my game, because those games were so far ahead of their time. Like, if Rockstar said, hey, here's Bully, but it runs in 60 frames a second and better graphics, I would immediately buy it, no hesitation.
But if it was like Bully in the Grand Theft Auto 5 engine.
Exactly. Like, it's an immediate cop. I don't need to, like... There's no thinking. It's like they don't have to be like, oh, we add this extra game.
They don't have to reinvent the wheel, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Mike, what do you think about video game remakes as a whole sort of entity?
See, I'm kind of torn about it, because while I feel like remakes can be done really well, like the Resident Evil 2 remake, like, I never played Resident Evil 2 on PlayStation or on Nintendo 64, so like another opportunity to play this game now with more up-to-date, not only visuals, but like controls and things too, to like get away from the tank controls and everything like that. Oh my god. Oh, I was so concerned that was going to be stuck in your ear.
Sorry.
Yeah, so I think they can be done really well, but at the same time, just like this Final Fantasy thing, like if they do it as 3 separate parts and they charge you full price for each one, like, is that now taking advantage? Like, the original game was sold at one price, you got the full thing, and that was it.
$60.
Yeah, and now people know, like, this is not the full game.
The only defense that they have is that the first full game was 80 hours, approximately. Right. It was $60 in 1997. It's now 2020. Games are still $60, despite the fact that everything else is more expensive. The game's going to be between like 40 to 50 hours, but there's going to be 3 of them that are 40 to 50 hours. It's like, I don't know, man. I've always been the one who fights for that video games that cost $60 that are AAA games are worth it. They're worth it. They're worth it. They're worth it for what you get out of it. Like, what else can get you 50 hours worth of entertainment for $60? Like, you can't see 50 hours worth of movies for $60. Or TV, even when you break it down, like what you pay for cable or streaming services. So, I mean, I suppose you could with Netflix, but like, is it that good? You know, are you a passive observer, or are you an active participant? Like, that's the part what games bring you, is like that you are involved in the action. So then it comes down to how big of a fan of this are you? Like, I will buy all 3 copies, all 3 editions if there's 3 discs, you know.
Right.
So that'll be money well spent, in my opinion. Especially if you buy the first one and it's so good that you're ready to buy the second one. If the first one sucks and then you buy the second and third one, well, that's kind of on you. That's not Square's fault. Yeah. They just released a product and you kept buying it, expecting it to be better than it was.
Right.
See, like, it's weird because it's like I kind of agree with Mike to a certain point, where it's like I was talking about this with Mark on when he was streaming like a while ago with Link's Awakening, right? Where like Link's Awakening is my favorite 2D Zelda game. Like I think it's fantastic. It's a breakthrough in Zelda games. It's the first Zelda game that introduced characters that you can get attached to. It's a really really good Zelda game, and I encourage everybody to play it. But I feel like making a remake 1-to-1 of a 2D game that literally is just different graphics. That's the only thing they did. They didn't change anything else. They just made a, hey, here's a Switch version with different graphics.
Yeah.
To me, I can't justify paying $60 for that. That doesn't make any sense to me because it's the exact same game that I can play.
Yeah, it made sense for me because I never played it.
Right. But on the other hand, it's like I think playing Shadow of the Colossus on PS4 is such a better experience than playing Shadow of the Colossus on PS2 that I could justify somebody paying $60 for that. Like, there's no gameplay benefit of Link's Awakening on the Switch than there is the...
Well,
you know,
that can be argued just in the sense that,
I mean,
like, it's in a
but
bigger screen, it's brighter colors, it's easier to look at.
Yeah, but that's all like that's all like personal preference, right? Like it's like there's a huge difference between playing Shadow of the Colossus on PS2 where it's like the frames drop to 7 frames a second, where it's like it's extremely choppy, you don't know what's going on, and at the time it didn't matter, right? But like going back, like if right now I said, hey, you've never played Shadow of the Colossus, go back and play the PS2 version to the PS4 version. The PS4 version is by far, like without a shadow of a doubt, a way better game.
A shadow of a doubt, you said?
Yeah, a shadow of a doubt. Ew. Where like I can't say the same thing about Link's Awakening. Like Link's Awakening XD for the Game Boy Advance is the same exact game that you're playing on the Switch, and even so, like the Switch version has frame rate issues where it's like it doesn't even justify it. It's literally
like somebody smudged Vaseline around the edges of the screen.
It's just different graphics. That's all it is. There's no difference whatsoever.
Hey man, I never played that game, so like I enjoyed it.
Yeah. So for somebody like you who's never played it, it makes sense. But like for me who's played it, like I can't like I said, like, and I told you at the time, like we had this conversation while you were playing it. It's like it's my favorite Zelda 2D game. I don't have a favorite. Like it's like Breath of the Wild and Link's Awakening are like right there for me. But like I haven't bought Link's Awakening for the Switch because to me like it doesn't make sense. Like why would I pay $60 for that game when I've already played it multiple times for way less? There's no different. It doesn't make sense for me.
Mike, you played that game on the original hardware?
Yeah, I'm actually still playing it right now.
Would you, after playing that, buy it for the Switch?
I might.
But more for your kids to play it.
Right. I mean, it's tough to say just because it's not my favorite Zelda game. It, again, goes in the pile with, like, Wind Waker. Yeah. Where, like, it's one point you just have to do a bunch of running around trading items, and, like, unless you know where to trade them and stuff, it becomes kind of difficult, and you're just kind of wandering. So for that, like, I may or may not be enjoying the game enough to justify buying another copy of it. But if I was going to first time jump into it and at the time had a Switch, I may have gotten the Switch version versus the original one.
Yeah.
You know what? There.
Now that I'm thinking about it too,
the plus side of the remake is just another opportunity for a new audience to come grab hold of this game.
Yeah, man.
While at the same time bringing in the nostalgia people that are going to be like, I love that thing. Let me get it again.
The thing about Link's Awakening on the Switch for me is like it does have that weight. You know what I'm talking about? That weight that video game characters and their actions need to kind of have. Yeah. Like it felt like the combat, even though it was very rudimentary, still felt like impactful. Like when I was swinging the sword, I was actually doing damage and like having like a a critical influence on the
Right.
outcome of the story, as opposed to just like, I feel like maybe if I had played that on a Game Boy, I might be like, oh, well, this just, like you push the button and the enemy flies back. Whereas like on the Switch version, I feel like the graphics maybe would have helped. Like, I don't know if I would have finished it on a Game Boy, but the fact that I was playing with like this new sort of like color palette and shiny graphics set made it seem like it was a newer game. It was new to me anyway. Like, it just felt more current. I don't know. Like, all in all, I think it was a great game. I can understand Mike's point of how it was just kind of like in the home stretch felt like not a collect-a-thon, but like a go talk to these people-a-thon. And
Like a slog.
yeah, and like doing all the final things, but there was so much fun parts to it.
Yes.
Especially if you play without a guide.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun Zelda game.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yes.
Yeah, and
I don't know that you could say that about Wind Waker. Specifically.
I can somewhat agree with Mike on the, like, you have to get this item and then you do this and then like that is that game. It's a whole other reason why, like, to me that is my favorite game. But what I'm arguing, right, is that like the original game to like Shadow of Colossus was the remake. Like, think about this. Like, to me, Shadow of Colossus remake is the superior version by far. Like, there's no argument. It's like it's the same game 1-to-1, but it runs way better and it's graphically way better than the original. Like, I don't know how you make an argument for why you should play the original over that one. And it was $40, brand new. Whereas, like, Link's Awakening was the same exact game, doesn't make it better. Maybe it runs even a little bit worse on the Switch. And it was $60 compared to the original version, which I could get now for, like, $20.
Yeah, but what's the cost of entry? Like, if you don't have a Game Boy, like, what do you got to spend to play that game?
Well, I mean, but if you're looking at it like that, then it's like, okay, spend $300 on a Switch plus $60 on the new Switch game versus spend whatever it like way less than what it costs
for a Game Boy. And
yeah,
20
Game
bucks for
Boy
the game.
and the game. Like, it's definitely way cheaper to play the Game Boy version than the Switch version.
For sure.
Like, I don't know.
Why I started
Because
playing the Game Boy
it's
one.
not like, to
timing,
me, it doesn't justify, like, because it's not a better version. It's the same exact version of the game. And I feel like, now thinking about it, I don't even know how we got here. I feel like I'm like talking about something completely different than what this topic initially started at, with like
Video game
remakes and
remakes.
shit. It's
Yeah,
just
that's what I'm
like,
talking about, yeah.
I feel like specifically with that game, because like I feel like with me especially, because like I've been very open about, like, Link's Awakening is my favorite. It's my favorite 2D Zelda game.
Calm
by
down,
far.
man. It's okay.
Like,
all right.
it's my favorite one,
No,
but I
it's not.
refuse to pay
No, it's not.
$60 for it.
You don't
because
have
it's
to
not-
play that on the Switch. You
not worth it.
already have 3 Pro controllers. Nintendo got your money. It's fine.
Exactly.
They're gonna let that slide.
They don't need any more, dude.
Yeah, they're good. Yo,
Like,
let's
what,
go.
Just gonna
Let's
give
go.
me another fucking Wii U remake?
Let's go around the horn again and talk about what do you think are some good video game remakes?
I mean, Shadow of the Colossus, I think, is like the best. Shadow of the Colossus and Resident Evil 2 remake.
I guess
are
you
like,
can count remasters too, because like Final Fantasy X and X-2 is cool to play in like a faster frame rate.
To me, Shadow of the Colossus is like
I have
the
that game
pinnacle-
on PS4. I haven't played it yet.
the pinnacle of
But-
remakes. It's the exact same game that you know and love. It plays the exact same way,
Yeah.
but it just runs better and it looks way better. And to me, like, there's no better version of a remake than you can get of that. Like, Resident Evil 2 comes the same thing. Like, they changed the story a little bit. Like, clearly, like, we haven't played Resident Evil 3 remake yet, but there's clearly, like, the rumor was that both of them were supposed to come out at the same time. I think, like, they kind of changed the story a little bit. They added certain things. They took away certain things that, like, you know, whatever you like or you don't like, but like to me, Shadow of the Colossus is the perfect example of like a justified like remake. It just all it did was take the already great game that Shadow of the Colossus was and made it better in every way possible.
Dang.
And didn't take away anything. Like there's nothing that the remake does worse than the original game. It just makes everything better.
I bought Catherine for PS4.
Mm-hmm.
Not technically a remake, but kind of.
Yeah.
I haven't played it yet. Let's see. Burnout Paradise Remastered I have on PS4. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Not really a remake, but remastered, you know. I think we can throw it up to that.
I think I definitely have to agree with Pop. I think Resident Evil 2 is fantastic, and I think even if you go back like Resident Evil 1, like that, how I got into that series was playing the 1 remake for GameCube.
Yep. The 1
Like,
remake is definitely
That was
a fucking
awesome
classic.
because I don't know if I would have gotten hooked as hard as I did if I had played the PS1 version first. So to jump into that with a GameCube
That shit scared me
remake,
when I was a kid.
Yeah.
hell yeah.
And see, there's some like I would even use like for Resident Evil. Like Resident Evil is like one of my favorite franchises. I like Resident Evil 4 growing up was like my favorite Resident Evil game. Resident Evil 4 like remaster for the PS4 is terrible in my opinion. Like and all they did was the exact thing that I'm talking about. They just like they didn't change anything. They just ported it to the PlayStation with like better but like it doesn't work, right? Like I feel like there's some extent of like
Wasn't that a control thing though?
yeah, like it
game
is
was,
a
like,
control
built
thing where
for
it's
the
like it's
GameCube
definitely
controller?
built for the GameCube and it doesn't really work on anything else other than the GameCube controller. But like that's my point is like
How could it
like,
not, though?
something-
All the buttons are there. You actually have extra buttons.
no, because the GameCube didn't have 2 joysticks. It had 1 joystick and a C stick. So the aiming mechanics in Resident Evil 4 are like you have to stop moving, you have to press a button to pull out your gun, and then you have to press another button to aim, and then you use the joystick to move. Where it's like if you just had a PlayStation 2 controller, you could press one button and aim with this stick and move with the stick.
Yeah.
But like because the game was literally built around like this is a GameCube exclusive, so we're building the game around a GameCube controller. It doesn't translate to anything else. Like I bought it on PC, I bought it on PlayStation 4. It's my favorite out of all the Resident Evil games. It's my favorite Resident Evil game, but it doesn't play well on anything other than the GameCube and the Wii U and not the Wii U, the Wii. And it only plays good on the Wii because of the motion. There's like one time the motion controls like benefit a game on like anything is because it's like, yeah, like I don't have to do those extra 3 commands to aim. I just use the motion controls, and like normally that would be terrible, but in this game somehow it makes it better. Like, but other than that, it's like almost unplayable. Like, it's like weird how it works, but it's like the PC version you can't even map the keybinds because the game is like built around like the GameCube controller, like, and only having one usable analog stick and like.
Well, if you
it's
want my
weird.
opinion, that's pretty fucking stupid.
Yeah, it is.
Hey.
It's stupid, but like,
They're-
but that's my example of like you can't like it takes a certain like thing of like you can't just take an old game and be like, hey, here's the better looking, better running version of it, right? Like that doesn't always work. Like Shadow of the Colossus is that, right? Like Shadow of the Colossus is my example that I'm going to use because I think it's perfect, right? Like where it's like Shadow of the Colossus is just a better running, better like looking version of the original game, and it works perfectly for that game. But like you can't do that for every game and have it translate to.
Yes, you can, because that's how you get all the money from the stupid gaming idiots.
Yeah, but like, I mean, to some extent, like I feel like
I'm
like
just being
Resident Evil
stupid.
4 like didn't sell good on like the PlayStation 4. Like,
Yeah, fuck all those games that are trying to just bank off of the name. You know, that's all that like what they do. I like what they're doing with Resident Evil 2 and 3. But as far as like good remakes go, Daryl, aka King of Ramen, brings up a good point. Ratchet and Clank, how the character models look better and the gameplay is smoother, but they change like the personality of the characters. That's kind of true.
Yeah.
But you know, that article that you shared about game remakes talked a lot about sequels too, and how really it's a matter of building a property off of an already existing sort of you know, thing. And I think that's going to be true with anything, and it's just a matter of do you do it justice or not. And I think when it comes to video game remakes, more often than not, they really pull it off, and it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's. I'm thinking we should try and get away from this topic, but really all there is left to talk about is Star Wars, and I don't know that
I really want to talk about that. Like, I feel like I can make this into a discussion that you guys, because I know like maybe you guys aren't the biggest Star Wars fans, but I feel like I can turn this into a discussion that you guys can get into.
I'm starting to wonder though if we should save that discussion.
I don't know, dude. This is one that like this is out of all of the things. This is the one that I wanted to talk about the most.
Gauging the situation and looking at the time that we've been live, and looking at Mike over there. I don't know. I'm gonna leave it up to you guys, I guess.
I mean, I'm good. Like,
I know.
We can tell.
Yeah. Like, I'm good. I'm good to go. I'm pouring myself another drink right now.
We can tell.
Yeah, I'm thinking if we wanted any shred of a chance of playing anything, that we should probably save that one topic. It's still gonna be there, man. Next week.
It is.
I mean, I guess. I don't know.
Hey, man.
That was the one that I'm like most. I literally have like fucking tabs pulled up for this topic. Like, this was the one that I was looking.
Yeah, but if I put the 2-minute timer on, can you get through it in 2 minutes?
I think I can make an argument for you guys being interested in this topic in 2 minutes. Yes.
That doesn't sound
because I think this
to me
is
at all.
Like, to me, this.
Like, if you're gonna tell me that you can definitely get me interested in a Star Wars topic and an overall,
no, it's
I know.
It's not a Star Wars topic.
I know.
I'm willing to remove the Star Wars completely, and like, I feel like I am willing to say that like more so than.
I'm gonna dive in. The third Star Wars game gets canceled. So is it the worst exclusive deal of all time? Go ahead, sell your story.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel
minutes.
like I can sell you guys on that. Like, this is, to me, this is a bigger loss than like the Nintendo Sony thing. Like, this is worse than that.
Okay.
Like, that's what I'm willing to like prove to you guys.
It's counting down now. Go ahead.
Okay, so like, right, like, I have friends that are ignore the first fucking link of this thing, right? With like the third game of Star Wars being canceled.
It's ignored.
Disney and EA made a deal where like Disney or EA had 10 years of exclusivity with Star Wars games, right? And like, they've done nothing with it. They've put out 3 games. 2 of them are horrible. One of them was okay, right? Star Wars fans are maybe the most like dedicated fans of anything ever. Like, I have friends like use Fortnite for example. Like, Fortnite had a crossover with Star Wars. I have friends that aren't interested in Fortnite whatsoever that came in and bought every single Fortnite skin that had to do with Star Wars. They spent, literally like $100 worth of V-Bucks on Fortnite for Star Wars, just because it was Star Wars, and that's it. Like, Star Wars, I think, is maybe one of the most dedicated fan bases of all time.
Yeah.
And EA has somehow managed to like fuck that up so much to the point where like I think that it might be the worst, like maybe exclusivity is not the correct word, but like the worst video game deal ever, like
Relating
period.
to like some other sort of
Related to anything, like whether you look at like how much money Nintendo lost like not doing the Sony thing, whether you look at like any exclusivity deal signed throughout, like Tomb Raider, for example, is one that comes up to me where Tomb Raider signed an
ding.
exclusivity
All right, that
deal
was your
with
2 minutes to get me interested, and you failed.
yeah, I know. Sorry. But like Tomb Raider, right, like signed an exclusivity deal with Xbox, and
No.
it killed the Tomb Raider franchise.
No,
like, it
that
killed
didn't
the
happen.
Tomb Raider franchise.
No, I'm just
Well,
kidding.
okay, so
But I
let me
did.
ask you: did you buy
Tomb Raider?
the two new Tomb Raiders that came out?
Hell
after
no.
the PS3
Girl
version?
Nathan
Exactly.
Drake, you mean?
But why didn't you buy it? Like why didn't?
Because
why
I already
weren't you-
played Uncharted. That's honestly why I didn't.
Exactly, and Uncharted was a PlayStation 3 exclusive that moved to PlayStation 4, and it was done really well. Why didn't you buy Tomb Raider? Because it was an Xbox exclusive that was done terribly.
Who has an Xbox?
Right? Like, exactly, you don't, so you
No.
didn't buy it, which
Right.
is why it's such a terrible deal. And I feel like the
Uncharted
the
sucks.
Star Wars EA deal is so much worse than any of that. Like you look at like EA and how many franchises they've killed. Like this is just going off the head. I'm not even looking at anything. It's like
Konami is the worst.
no, EA is by far the worst. It's like Dead Space killed, Skate killed, Mass Effect killed, Need for Speed killed, fucking Medal of Honor killed. Like they kill extremely popular things. They fucking destroy them. And Star Wars, out of everything, is so easy. Like Star Wars is like the home run, right? Like you don't have to do anything. Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2 are awful games, but they made a shit ton of money because it's Star Wars, so people are willing to pump money into that. And it's like, if they just made a good game, I feel like it's on the level of like EA with Star Wars could have the next Minecraft or Fortnite on that League of Legends, whatever you want to put. Like Star Wars is a franchise that if EA did correctly, they could make, like, it could sell, the new Star Wars game could sell hundreds of millions of units if it was a good game, but they've somehow managed to fuck up every single time to the point where nobody is willing to buy that product except for the Star Wars fans, which is an incredible amount already, right? Which is why I feel like it is the, like, by far the biggest, like, they have 10 years of exclusivity with these games, and they've done nothing with it. Like, the amount of money and games and everything, like, because you have to think too, like, this isn't like, if I could use the example of like, what if Naughty Dog got the ability to make a Star Wars game, right? Like Naughty Dog's great at stories, great at games. They haven't made it. This is an entire. This is like if Sony got the ability. They have multiple studios. They have. It's like unlimited resources, and they've done nothing with it. It's like it's so big of a fucking like squander that like it's incredible. Like I can't believe how bad they fucked this up. And that like second link that I linked is just an example of like it goes through like the good games that came out in like a period of like 5 years compared to EA just releasing. They've released 3 games since 2013, and 2 of them were fucking terrible. Like it's so bad. Like it's terrible.
I'm sorry. What was your topic?
Dude.
I'm just kidding.
Listen, I agree that EA has not done a hell of a lot with the Star Wars name, and it is a big name that carries a lot of weight and has a big fan base behind it. But I would honestly rather watch them cancel another game then end up with another microtransaction bullshit drama fest that ends up in fucking Supreme Court and ends up in Congress trying to change the way we could play video games.
Yeah, but like
So,
the reason
they canceled it.
the reason they've canceled, like, if you look at that first, like, the reason they've canceled the games isn't even because of that. It's like, literally, it's like they've canceled 3 Star Wars games because EA thinks that story games don't work. Like, that's why they've canceled 3 games. Like, it's not even because it's like, oh, we don't think we can make money off this. Oh, we don't think this is going to be a good idea. It's because they're like so like set in the way of like, oh, and this is why I'm saying, like, if you look at their games, right? Like, look at what Need for Speed has turned into. Look at what fucking Mass Effect and like Dead Space and all of these games. You can go through the list. Skate, like, it's so, like, just look at Battlefront, Battlefield. What's the one that came up this like past year that was terrible? Anthem. Like, it's just like, other than FIFA and Madden, EA is maybe the worst. Like, I don't know what the term is. Like, it's not producer, but fucking like the worst. It's not even like I pulled up links of like studios that EA has bought that has made really good games that they've done nothing with. Like, yeah. Visceral, right? The people that made Dead Space 1, Dead Space 2. Dead Space 2 is okay. Dead Space 1 is great. EA bought them after Dead Space 1. Dead Space 2 is okay. Then they made Dead Space 3, which was definitely an EA game. It's fucking terrible. Then Visceral got put on a Star Wars game. They canceled. Like, that studio is completely dead. The studio, like, it's like incredible the amount of like talent that EA has killed with games. That's what, like, it goes bigger than like just Star Wars. I feel like Star Wars is the home run, right? Like, you don't have to do anything because it sells what, like, Battlefront 2 has sold like 20 million copies, right? Which for any other game is fantastic. But for a Star Wars game, I feel like that's fucking terrible, right? But it's like, it's the fact
everybody's
that,
a critic.
It's EA, and they've like killed, like, it's like amazing the amount of work they've done to just destroy like good things. Like, it's like mind blowing, and that's why I think it might be the worst, like, the Star Wars EA deal might be the worst like deal ever when it comes to like video games. Like, I don't know that there's like a worse, like, I can't think of like a worse deal than that. Like, it's fucking horrendous.
I'm playing Uncharted fan fiction in the stream while you're talking about Star Wars. Just so I could be entertained while you're talking about nonsense spacemen and fucking.
But like, it's so like not even that, right? Like,
I know. I understand what you're talking
like,
about.
You like fucking racing games, right?
No,
like,
I hate them.
No, okay, you.
I do like racing games.
You like racing games, okay? So what about Burnout? Fucking EA killed it. It's done.
Yeah, but they'll bring it back.
It destroyed it. No, like, they tried to remaster it and they fucked that up. Like, it's terrible. Like,
no, the remaster is good.
Need for Speed, another example of a racing game that EA just fucking destroyed, right? Like,
they did.
Oh, you like skating games? Fucking Tony Hawk fucked it up, so Skate came along. Okay, EA destroyed that. Like, it's
they'll bring Skate back. They'll bring Skate back.
The amount of games that they fucked up, like, yeah, it's like incredible.
EA's in the business of making money, right? Like, they're gonna keep on.
But like, but really, like, when you think about it, like, what have they done like good? Like, what have they done? Like think about like EA games that have come out in the last 5 years. All of them are fucking horrendous, except for FIFA and Madden. Those are the only games that make the money.
I would say they're all horrendous.
So, like, okay, Mass Effect Andromeda, terrible.
Terrible.
Anthem, terrible. The last 3 Need for Speeds, terrible.
Well,
fucking-
see, that's the thing. Like, the
Battlefront
Need
2,
for
terrible.
Speed was
Call-
good, except for that
Battlefield-
stupid
Battlefield-
phone.
terrible. Like they're all so bad. Like they killed off fucking Titanfall. Like it's like insane the amount of like good opportunities that they have fucking
Yeah.
destroyed.
What did you mix with that Kraken? That's what I want to
Yeah.
know.
Just Coke, dude.
Just
This is-
Coke.
like-
Oh, that
like I
makes
said-
sense. I just put
like I
crack in
said-
my Kraken.
Like I said, this is the one topic that like I wanted to talk about the most because it's like the one I'm most passionate about because they're games that I care about. Like Need for Speed is a game that I grew up loving. Like Mass Effect, I loved. Fucking Skate, I love skating games, and they've just destroyed them all. Dead Space, Dead Space 1 was one of the scariest games I've ever played. Like. And they've just fucking killed them all. Like it's so bad.
I don't look
Like-
to EA for good games though. I look to Naughty Dog for those.
But that's the thing, right? Is like EA owns so many studios that have made really good games. And the fact that they have exclusivity to Star Wars, which I feel like you can do anything with. Like I could pitch you guys like fucking 10 Star Wars games right now that would be instant fucking classics, right? Like it's like, okay, Star Wars, it's a space game. What if we made a space RPG? Hey, you know who's doing that? Fucking the people that made Skyrim, right? They're making a space RPG.
Bethesda?
Why? Because it's a really good idea. Like,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you do that? Right? Like, you can even use examples within the existing franchise, like Knights of the Old Republic, a really, really good Star Wars RPG. You know who made that game? Fucking the people that made Mass Effect, owned by EA. They could make another game, but they destroyed every like good bit of anything that they had.
Here's the real bit that you're forgetting to acknowledge is that Disney could squash EA like a bug right now if they wanted to.
But they don't, because the Star Wars fan base is so strong that regardless of how good or bad something is, that's why
the
like,
force is
Star
strong
Wars
with those ones.
That's why the Star Wars thing doesn't make any sense, because it's like regardless of if it's good or bad, the Star Wars fan base is so like I literally have friends that
No,
like,
you don't.
Yes, I do. Like I have friends that are such
Yeah, right.
big Star
Yeah, I was
Wars
just-
fans that they will buy anything Star Wars just because it's Star Wars. It doesn't matter. They could hate Fortnite and never play it, but they'll go in and buy every single Fortnite skin that is Star Wars because it is Star Wars, right?
Yo,
so bad.
yo.
Yeah, I went to GameStop. I was in GameStop one time. It was this year. Fucking yeah, dude. It's ridiculous, dude.
Yo, get these fucking Star Wars skin buying Fortnite motherfuckers on the next podcast. That's all I'm saying. I want to talk to them.
Hold on. You know how much it is to buy, like, just for example, a game completely out of the. We were talking about it earlier. How much? Like, I'm just gonna Google this right now. How much money does it cost to buy all of the Sims DLC? Sims, owned by EA. Right now, if I was into Sims 4 and I wanted to get all of the DLC plus the game, right? Like, it would cost me
$400.
$510. $510. So, like that, it's like EA might be the worst fucking like company ever.
But does anybody buy all the Sims DLC?
But what if I wanted to? What if I was?
Then you'd be an asshole.
Hold on, but you can't say that because it's like you don't care about the Sims. But it's like, what if I'm really into cars?
I like the Sims.
What if I really, really like Need for Speed?
Yeah.
And I'm so dedicated to Need for Speed that any DLC comes out, I'm forced to fucking pay $510 for all of the shit
Nah,
just
man.
because I like
Look,
this
man.
franchise.
I would say that
Like-
if you're that into Need for Speed, then this is coming full circle, and you need to buy an Xbox so you could experience Horizon. Forza
I know,
Horizon.
but that's what I'm saying is like they've cornered the market to where there's experiences that you can't like. What other skate game are you going to play other than Skate right now?
I guarantee you
is
we're
none.
gonna see
Right, like, what
remastered
other-
Tony Hawk this year.
What other space RPG are you going to play other than Mass Effect?
Halo.
There is none. Right? Like, but what Halo game are you going to play? Like
Whatever
that
one
came out
I
in
fucking
2002?
want to. Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Is like it's like they've and Halo's not even an RPG. Like,
yeah, but
it's
you're
like,
saying it like EA has like this monopoly on the gaming industry.
they do.
They don't, though. I don't give a fuck about Star Wars games. The people who care about Star Wars, who
But I've
only buy
listed like
Star
30 other games other than. What if I'm really into horror games?
But
Dead
Pop,
Space
hold
just
up,
fucked
but
me,
hold up.
Like-
Skate goes away, and then you got these two new ambitious entities
What-
creating
what-
skateboarding games. If EA
When?
wants to,
Since when? What skating game has come out since the last?
no,
Skate?
I'm talking
Zero.
about I'm talking
Like-
about Session, and I'm talking about the other one that's
Yeah,
in
and
early
they're not
access.
good. Like compared to the
They
last
will
Skate,
be,
they are
though.
terrible games.
They will be.
It's like you can say that, but that's like a hope, right? Like we hope.
No,
that
the best
will
possible
be a
outcome
good
is
game.
the best
It doesn't
possible
even have
outcome.
multiplayer
The
right
best
now.
possible outcome it's early access, dude. What are you talking about? The best possible outcome is that EA picks up those dev teams and
and then
releases.
fucking kills them because that's what they do. They buy small dev teams and fucking destroy them.
Yeah, but if
Like,
you
they've done it
but if you're sitting
multiple
here
times.
saying that EA is never gonna release another skate game, I'm just saying that you're delusional. Of course
but-
they're going to.
But hold on. But okay. So here's my question. Why haven't they?
Because they know that the more hype that they build, the more they're gonna sell when it comes time. They're probably waiting for new consoles.
But the past 5 years, they've released nothing but.
I'm willing to bet
Bad game.
that we will see a Skate 4 on the new consoles.
Maybe like I guess if they get so desperate.
Okay,
like,
so if they don't do that,
So,
then
but
I will
do- but
agree
do
with
you
you
think-
100%.
okay, but hold on. Do you think that EA thought that Anthem was gonna be a fucking terrible game that nobody played?
No,
No,
I don't think
right?
they
thought
thought
it was
that.
going to be a good game.
Yeah,
Did
but
you-
that's the risk
do you
that
think
anybody
that-
takes.
Do you think that EA thought that Mass Effect Andromeda was going to be a bad game that nobody played? No, they thought it was going to be a good game. It's just that every game that they have any involvement with is fucking terrible. Like it's so bad. Like it was like incredible. Like I don't like. It's like there's literally like I just pulled up. It's just like a list of EA studio, like not even games, but complete studios.
Tell 'em why
that
you mad.
EA has killed, right? And it's 7 pages long. Like, and there's five studios per page. Like, it's ridiculous the amount of
I like the Real's
games
response. He's just like
and
Gran
studios
Turismo is pretty
that
cool.
they have killed. Like, it's crazy.
You know what's crazy?
I like-
How passionate you are about this right now. Like,
Well,
fuck
because
EA,
these
who
are games that I
cares?
like. Like, hold on, but it's like you say who cares, but it's like, did you not like Need for Speed games at one point?
Yeah,
like
no,
they were
of
my
course I did.
favorite games at one
But
point.
that's
like,
but
Need for Speed
dude,
Most Wanted
you
was
could-
my favorite game.
you could
at,
still
like,
play it.
one point. Yes, I could still play it, but why can't I play? That's like saying like, oh, you can still play Uncharted 1, so they should have never made Uncharted 2, 3, 4.
But they
like-
did. So that's I
Exactly.
see your point there that they suck that way. But if you like that game so much, like go back and play it.
But they had nothing to do. But they had nothing to do with Uncharted 1, right?
Huh?
They had nothing to do with Need for Speed Most Wanted.
Who?
It's when they took it over.
Oh yeah,
they
yeah,
fucking
I see.
killed it.
Oh, I see.
Right?
I
Like,
see what you're saying.
they kill everything that they touch. So Disney signing an exclusivity deal with them is, I think, it goes down as.
I mean, I
to
guess
me,
the
the
reason that
worst
it's not
possible deal
resonating with me so much is because I never liked any. Like whenever all my friends were playing KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic. You know, I was like, I don't care about this at all. You know what I mean? Like, so, like, Star Wars games never had any. I played the Battlefront demo, and I was like,
Yeah.
meh, whatever.
But
Don't care.
Yes, I understand that, right? Like that's why I tried to broaden this topic into more than just Star Wars, where it's like, so do you not care about skating games? Because it's like Tony Hawk died a while ago, and skate took over.
Tony Hawk's still alive, man. He didn't die.
Dude? Like you played Tony Hawk 5?
Oh,
It's
no, you
fucking
said
awful.
Tony Hawk died. Don't be reporting that Tony Hawk died.
The games died a
see.
while ago.
No, Tony Hawk
and
5 killed it.
Clearly, the only people that like have the ability to make a AAA skating game is EA. They bought the studio.
I disagree.
That made but it's like you disagree. But like, then why hasn't somebody done it? Like, it's like nobody else
because
has
it's
done
supply
it.
and demand. Nobody
It's
is
literally
asking.
Tony Hawk
Nobody's
and
asking for a new skating game right now.
What do you mean? There's tons of people that are asking for it.
Yeah, but not the majority.
Every E3, there's this entire fucking community that comes out. Skate 4, Skate 4, Skate 4, Skate 4, and it never happens.
Yeah,
it's
but one
incredible.
community
Like,
versus the entire
but it's like,
consumers of gaming.
yes, but it's
Mark,
like
you
you
got
take
that
that
timer?
one community, you take that skate community, right, and then you
Pull
add
that
it
up.
with
Have it ready.
the Need for Speed community, and then you add it with the Battlefront community, and then you add it with the Battlefield community, and then you add
Timer's
it with
live.
the Medal of Honor community, and then you add it with the Burnout community, and then you
Okay.
add it with
When this
the
timer's
Mass
done,
Effect community, and then
I'm
you
going to
add it
take a
with
shit.
the fucking.
the
It's
fuck up outta here.
so many. It's like
So if this is
ridiculous.
still going.
How many?
The last
good
question I
games-
have: What, as of today, what do you consider a retro game? So next week we can have a retro topic
Oh yeah.
in a minute 30 seconds.
Yeah, we
'cause
have
then
a
I'm going
minute
to
and
shit.
30 seconds because then Mike's gonna shit and we're gonna end the stream when the buzzer dings, and that's all there is to it. Sorry, Bob.
EA
You-
bad.
No.
What's
like,
a retro
bad.
game?
it's just-
Retro to me is can you hook it up easily to your new TV? If
To
you
me, it's
can't-
more than one console game. Last console was last generation. Anything before that is retro.
I would say
I
that. How hard
would
is it to
say-
hook it up to your TV?
Yeah, I would say anything that you can't hook up to your TV with component or HDMI cables, you could consider retro.
But the PlayStation 3 came with like that's
Right.
why it's so hard to stream, right? Is because it came with fucking the red, white, and yellow cords. Like it's,
composite.
yeah.
Yeah,
Not
and
retro
actually,
enough.
So PlayStation 3 is retro to me.
I would
I don't
say
know.
it's retro because
like I
it's
said.
got that port, but I mean, it does come with an HDMI cable, and so do all modern TVs.
But you can also get like PlayStation 2 game. Like you can buy something to make a PlayStation 2 with an HDMI cable,
You
right?
could.
Like
Okay, so let's pick a system and cut it off.
yeah, I think anything like
PS3 and
especially
pre.
this year, like
but
PlayStation 3.
I would say PS2 is the last retro console. right
PlayStation
now.
3,
Yeah.
Xbox, and Wii, and before are retro.
So then I think
Ding.
we'd have to go PS2.
Mike's
wouldn't
just shit himself.
No, PlayStation 2 is retro.
we? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
the thing just dinged, and Mike's got to go poop.
That's it. Game over. I'm all
Yo.
done here.
I'm gonna go eat something. Actually, all I
Yep.
had was 4 claws. No laws in the claws, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Clearly.
I had like a lot of
A half a
like-
bottle of fucking crack.
Yeah. We should have done this fucking topic first, to be honest.
Yeah, you're right. I know you went into a fucking wild tangent.
But it's
Okay.
true, dude.
Yo, we're gonna
Fucking
resume this
cool.
next week with 40, I think.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm ending it in 3, 2. I could feel the Browns spreading. Yikes! All right, peace.
Shit.